It's a big day, an emotional day, one that I'm proud of to be given this leadership opportunity for the 25 players and staff members, and that goes well beyond that with the players in the minor leagues and future Diamondbacks.
A bold decision 365 days ago by the Diamondbacks as 34-year-old A.J. Hinch moved from developing talent to managing it. Gone are the questions about experience, as that has been provided day by day at a much higher frequency and intensity than ever before.
I'm going to take the experiences that I've had on the field, off the field, with people, and make us a champion.
Saturday night, and the boys in black are dressed up and ready to go. Another day in paradise in downtown Phoenix, Arizona, here at Chase Field. Game 2 of a 3-game set tonight. It's the Milwaukee Brewers, winners last night, going head-to-head with the Arizona Diamondbacks. All the action right here on Fox Sports Arizona. Hello there, folks. Welcome back to the ballpark. He is Mark Grace. My name is Darren Sutton, and glad to have you with us this evening. We heard the thoughts from a year ago, manager A.J. Hinch. It was a year ago to the day that he was brought in, and it certainly was a bold decision. Hinch was developing talent, doing a good job developing minor leaguers. The bold decision, I say, you judge him how it goes this year, because this year is when he's been able to implement a lot of his ways of thinking.
Yeah, his ways and his people. This is his coaching staff. These are the players that he wanted to bring north, if you will, for the 2010 season. Last year, he had Bob Melvin's players, and he came into really a nearly impossible situation, a team that wasn't ready to play for him. But this year, as you said, I think now is the time you judge him. So far, a couple of games under 500, but you're starting to see some improvements in things that you didn't see last year. A much better defensive team, a much better offensive team. Now you need to get the pitching going.
And the thing that you talked about yesterday, much more depth for the roster for the Arizona Diamondbacks, a move for us to tell you about later on in the show with regard to that. Let's talk about the Brewers. It's a duo that everyone talks about when you speak about them. Talking about Ryan Braun, Prince Fielder last night. Well, Fielder might have struck out. He sure had a loud double, though. What did you see last night?
Well, Prince Fielder's, it's just a matter of time. You hope he waits a couple of more days before he just goes crazy. Ryan Braun having a monster year, and you expect that from these guys. These are two of the better hitters in the National League, and they are always dangerous. Lefties, righties, it doesn't matter. These guys play and perform and excel every single day. They beat you last night, and really you kept these guys in check. That's a bad omen.
Veteran left-hander Randy Wolf is on the mound for the Milwaukee Brewers against the dynamic duo for the Arizona Diamondbacks. Talking about Mark Reynolds and Justin Upton. Well, career, the numbers don't bode well. Do us this favor. Tell us about Randy Wolf. How would you beat him from the right side of the batter's box?
Randy Wolf is going to remind you of a couple of days ago I started for the Houston Astros. His name was Wandy Rodriguez. It's a lot the same with Randy Wolf. Not a very big man, but got a good arm, got a fastball close to 90, a very good curveball. If he's got his curveball going, it's going to be a long night for the D-backs.
Well, we'll talk about that roster change and the depth on the roster and how the Diamondbacks chose to address it, because Connor Jackson is back. He is healthy. He is batting second in the lineup. Providing some OBP for AZ, Kojak is back. Diamondbacks by Colorado Tourism. Start planning your Colorado summer adventure today at Colorado.com. And by Southwest Airlines. Visit Southwest.com. Grab your bag. It is on.
Beautiful Saturday night here in Phoenix Chase Field, site of Game 2 for the Brewers and the Diamondbacks tonight. And there's a little extra excitement in the dugout down here, more than normal, because Connor Jackson is back in the lineup, playing left field today, in the 2 spot in the lineup. And he's back after missing 18 games with a hamstring strain. He says the leg feels terrific. Now, the corresponding roster move today is that Gerardo Parra goes down to Reno, and it just shows the depth in the outfield right now as Cole Gillespie stays up. But Connor Jackson, he did just come back from a 3-game rehab stint in Reno, went 3 for 11, a home run, 2 RBIs. He says he tested the leg. Temperatures cold in Reno. He's able to run, able to make plays in the outfield. So great to see him back in the lineup tonight. That is the move. Again, he's in the 2 spot with Kelly Johnson, holding on to that leadoff spot the way that he's been hitting the ball. Well, on the pitching side of it, it's the second Major League start for Cesar Valdez. More on that when we come back. First pitch coming up. See if the rookie can get his second win.
Played at the University of Pittsburgh and ready to put together the team that's in the division as rivals to the current Pirates, the Milwaukee Brewers. On the mound, Cesar Valdez. UPS delivering his pitching report. This is what he did in his Major League debut against the Houston Astros. 5 innings, 1 earned run. He was the victor in a big 9-1 victory. He gets ready to go for his second big league start. We're underway. The boys wearing black here at Chase Field on a Saturday night. Glad to have you with us. Ricky Weeks hitting .267, 5 home runs, 18 RBIs, a homer last night. This one's on the ground and into left field for a base hit. So Weeks gets going. Let's take a look at the entire lineup, brought to you by our good friends with Kentucky Fried Chicken, KFC. Jim Edmonds, the veteran, drinking from that fountain of youth, and it's Braun, Fielder, Casey McGee. Jody Garrett, a tough year, but has always handled the Diamondbacks. George Coteras and Alcides Escobar. Randy Wolf is at the bottom. I should say George Coteras. My apologies. So here's Jim Edmonds. Had that classic home run stroke last night, didn't he? That one gets by Snyder. Weeks moves up, so not a good start for these Diamondbacks.
That'll go as a pass ball on Snyder. The errorless streak still remains. But he's going to tell you that was probably an error right there. That was a strike that he just flat out missed. And because he missed it, it was called a ball.
So any chance to get, even though Edmonds hits a lot of balls in the air, any chance to get a double play disappears right through that catcher's mitt. 384 career home runs, 1,182 RBIs. Didn't play last year.
Yeah, I just said heck with it.
Probably feels much better because of it. Hot shot, base hit, right field. They're going to stop the runner at third and Weeks, and Upton shoots it well up the line to Snyder over the head of the cutoff man. So back-to-back singles. Weeks and Edmonds to get things started against Cesar Valdez.
Yeah, Cesar Valdez finding out quickly that this is not the Houston Astros. This is the Milwaukee Brewers, a very good offensive ball club. Leaves a couple of sinkers up in the zone. Both get spanked for base hits, a pass ball, and then Justin Upton missing cutoff man. So far, hadn't been a real good start for these D-backs tonight.
Valdez in AAA Reno, the 25-year-old right-hander out of Santo Domingo in the Dominican Republic. He had made 4 starts down there, an ERA of 3.80, kept the bases pretty clean, walks and hits per innings pitched, a very low number, and had thrown a lot of ground balls. And remind us again, Gracie, I mean, that's the thing with him, isn't it? The fastball and the changeup both have that downward action.
They have the downward action. The changeup's only maybe anywhere 3 to 6 miles an hour less than the fastball. So everything coming about 84 to 90 miles an hour. Nothing less than that, and really nothing more as well.
And outside of Albert Pujols, one of the game's most dangerous hitters digs in and swings over the top of a changeup. As we were talking about, 85, 1-1 the count.
And that's the difference. It's tough to decipher when you watch him on TV, just whether that's the sinker or the changeup. But 85 miles an hour, I believe that is his changeup, Darren.
And you can see how often Ryan Braun does the little things as well as slug the baseball. Slugging percentage of .581 this year. That's top 10 stuff, well above all-star caliber. That one sails in, another changeup. That one a little bit slower, 1-1 the count. Ryan last night was 1 for 3. And of course the talented young hitter who a couple of years ago, his first years in the big leagues, you can see how big those numbers are. And league average really points out where that OPS is, 738, combining on base and slug. He does it all very well. And now the other part of it, as he fouls it back, is they're able to say that the defensive side of it, he does well enough anyway. He really struggled as a rookie third baseman defensively.
Yeah, so you move him out to left field where he can be a lot more comfortable. Now, left field is not near as taxing a position as third base is. So now you keep his mind off his defense. Gosh, I'm hurting this team defensively. Now just let him go to swinging that big old bat.
And he does use a big old bat. Bigger than most, you can see. Over the top. Slider there. Doesn't throw many at all. I'm curious, actually, the way that dove, if that was a slider or a changeup. Maybe we can see it again.
Let's take a look. I think that was the changeup, Darren. You can see, watch Ryan Braun way out in front of it. Looks back like, how the heck? So a big strikeout there. I think that was the change, don't you think, Darren?
You can see a couple of extra fingers on the outside of the baseball. He throws a straight change, which means if you have a ball nearby at home, just take it, wrap your hands around it. That's what a straight change is.
And throw it as hard as you can, and it's going to be a little less on the miles per hour.
Snyder's feeling it. He calls another one to Fielder. And that one gets by Chris Snyder. And a flip to Valdez, who is there, but the runner moves up.
Boy.
On another one that didn't bounce, but Snyder unable to hold on to it.
That's what got the Diamondbacks in trouble last night. A wild pitch. Really very fortunate that Ricky Weeks decided not to score, but on the tail end of it was Jim Edmonds moving up. Did that go as a wild pitch or a pass ball, Darren? Do we know?
Passed ball, unfortunately, the second one in the inning. So now what do you do here with Prince Fielder? You've got a base open. You throw him a good sinking fastball, 1-1.
Just go right after him down the middle. Hope he hits it to somebody. That time he swung and missed.
You can see Prince with the power numbers down this year. And again, we say what we say about a lot of hitters of his caliber. We'll show you that and then hopefully get him out of town real soon.
Exactly. Exactly. Because it's a matter of time before this kid explodes.
Got on the side of that changeup. It sails up and away. 2-1 the count to Fielder. He is baseball's current Iron Man, which of course makes you respect Cal Ripken and the consecutive seasons that he put together. But Fielder hasn't taken a day off in 214. 214 consecutive games.
Cal's not peeking over his shoulder yet.
No, but I kind of like that. Tough lefty, nicked up. More and more guys take games off in the big leagues. Not him. And he's not taking any games off against the Diamondbacks. He'll pass.
Because he kills the Diamondbacks.
Even the double last night. I mean, we showed you those numbers coming on the air. Beautiful swing out to the 413 part of the ballpark. The other way.
Another change up there, Darren.
That was a harder one, though, wasn't it?
I believe so. You can just tell by the swings just how far out in front. And watch the late dip. That thing's just gone. Good pitch.
I mean, they'll tell you in that dugout, they don't have the benefit of replay when they're charting and trying to keep an eye on what pitch it is. They don't know sometimes. Is it the sinker? Is it the changeup? We're not quite sure. We just know that he pulled the string twice in a row, and with a couple of runners in scoring position, has struck out Ryan Braun and Prince Fielder. The two guys we told you about coming on the air.
There it is. Just challenging the big fella, and right over the top and out in front of it is Fielder. Oh, two huge strikeouts. But now, once again, we always say you can't exhale now. You got to bear down just as hard on Casey McGee, because this guy, he's sitting on 23 RBIs. He's no day at the beach up there with a couple of guys in scoring position. No,
hitting .333 with runners in scoring position. And pulls the top of that one. That was the breaking ball, the slider there. 1-0 the count. Really got on top of that one. Casey had a big rookie year a season ago. Found himself getting some rookie of the year votes this year. 286, 5 homers, 23 batted in. Very good numbers all in all across the board. Nice job, Chris. That one kicks away.
And that's what you're going to see. I would imagine Chris Snyder really not knowing a whole lot about Valdez. Only the second time he's ever caught him. And really, he only caught him for 5 innings. So there's certainly some question marks there on just what his changeup's going to do, just how much it's going to dive, or the fastball as well. Good pitch.
That's the fastball. 2-1 the count. McGee with 11 runs batted in, with runners in scoring position and 2 outs. That's top 5 Major League Baseball.
Just a fastball right on the outside corner. He's 1 out away from getting out of a monster jam here in the first.
That's real movement there, boy. I tell you.
Yes, it's impressive.
You start putting the command that you think you have with that movement. 2-1. Bouncing ball out towards short. Abreu rocks and fires. What a job by the young right-handed pitcher. day. Let's take a look at the starting lineup. He's got a healthy Connor Jackson he can pencil in. It's brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Jackson, though, does not bat leadoff. Kelly Johnson stays up there. AJ previewing that yesterday. Upton ended the ball game as a pinch hitter last night. LaRoche, Reynolds, Young, Tony Abreu getting the start again. Chris Snyder and Cesar Valdez. 33-year-old Randall Christopher Wolf, 2-2 this year with a 3.86 ERA. A very nice career. Very nice career. Pretty high walk total. Goes to work with strike one.
That's about as hard as he's going to throw. About 88 miles an hour. A little bit of a crossfire. A little bit throws across his body for that added deception. And a big curveball behind that fastball.
That one dives down and away. He'll elevate quite a bit too, won't he?
Get underneath the ball and try to get you to chase high fastballs.
A lot of fastballs, as you can see. There's that big curveball, second pitch with regard to usage, an occasional changeup. As that one is outside. 2-1 the count to Kelly. 10 home runs, 19 batted in, an on base of .388, but his slugging percentage puts him in the top 3 in the National League. He's been right near the top all year long. As that one is outside.
What's going on with the catchers
all
tonight?
Right. Where's the funny guy with the hidden camera?
They got the boxing gloves on tonight.
Kataris and Snyder. There it is. You're on candid camera. Johnson goes the other way. Takes it off. Drives it. It's down. Well, look at that ball roll. Neither guy getting to the baseball. Talking about Edmonds and Braun. And Kelly Johnson continues to hang in there against left-handed pitching. As a matter of fact, he is 10 for his last 19 against left-handed pitchers.
He just gets a fastball out over and up and just goes with the pitch and drills it into the gap. And Jimmy Edmonds, not quite the center fielder he used to be as far as speed, but he gets it back in. And Kelly Johnson is at second base, and a good start and a good way to come back here for Connor Jackson with a runner in scoring position.
And you can see where he stands. That's your leadoff hitter, folks. And that's the kind of slugging he is doing. Number 3. Here's Connor. Ground ball into center field. Cole Porter saying hustle on in. Edmonds just tosses it into the cutoff man. The Diamondbacks lead it 1-0. Very reminiscent to a walk-off ground ball back through the box that beat Milwaukee a couple of seasons ago here at Chase Field. Very reminiscent.
Yeah, he looks a little rusty. First pitch he sees, bang, right back up the box and driving in a run. Good to see Connor Jackson back. Kelly Johnson looks like he might have pulled up lame a little bit, coming around third. Does he look like he's favoring something a little bit there? My goodness, let's hope not.
I don't know if you read the bylaws in today's broadcast notes that we put together. He's not allowed to come up lame at all.
No, he's not allowed to get hurt ever for the rest of his Diamondback career.
There's no trainers around him.
No trainer near him. That's good news.
He goes and finds the hitting coach for a moment. Always good to have placement by your hottest hitter if you're the hitting coach.
That's exactly right.
That's a slider, and it misses in. 1-1 the count to Justin Upton. 217, 5 home runs, 16 batted in. And Upton has not had a lot of success career-wise against Milwaukee, hitting just .213 against the Brewers. Shoots that one into the seats the other way. And again, as we told you, not a ton against Randy Wolf as well. But let's be honest, folks. Since the Diamondbacks made that run at the Flag in 2007 and played into the postseason, starting that year of 07, they have not been a good matchup against the Milwaukee Brewers.
They've gotten throttled by this Brewer squad.
Including a close game last night, a 3-2 game where both teams appeared to be a little bit jet lagged. Last 22 games, Milwaukee's won 16 of them between these two. Upton drives it. Deep left center field. Braun going back. It's over his head. It's up and over the wall.
That's a bad break.
Boy, that is
the
a
Diamondbacks.
tough break. Look at Connor out front. Look at Justin running. They'll send them both back. A ground rule double. Justin Upton. Boy, the boys bought their hitting boots, getting rolling for Upton. Double number 5 of the season.
Gets a fastball, kind of a cut fastball running in. And he drills it out into left center and one hop into the stands. It's a ground rule double, and Connor Jackson has to stop at third base as Dana DeMuth did his best President Nixon imitation there.
By the way, Connor running fine.
It was tough to tell whether that was President Nixon or Dana DeMuth right there, wasn't it?
You're right on it. Good catch by you. That's the veteran baseball guy, folks, with the political history as well. That San Diego State education is that one.
Yeah, remember like it was yesterday. I was 6 years old when he was president.
1-0 the count. I thought you, when he came by, visited the ballpark throughout the first pitch, I thought you were out there playing. I thought you caught it. 1-1 the count to LaRoche. By the way, he's just fine.
He looks just fine. Bo's saying, stop, don't pull that hamstring again. Yeah, he's moving nicely, smooth. Good to have him back.
1-1 the count. Remember, the Milwaukee Brewers found themselves in a similar situation. Runners on second and third, and a very good hitter, namely Prince Fielder, with a chance to hit.
And Ryan Braun.
And Cesar Valdez mowed him right down.
What you're looking for is just some contact now. Now you're just battling. A ground ball to second base or a ground ball to short, that's all you need right here to drive in the run. Make it a 2-0 game, and Justin Upton will go to third for Mark Reynolds on deck.
That one dives low. There has been good successes in the career of LaRoche when he faces Wolf. And this year, timely hitting has been right there out there for him too. But against Randy Wolf in his career, 6 of 16 with a homer and 3 walks. Southern California native with the 2-2.
Boy, just missed.
Wow. And a little bit of cut to it. A little bit of late run.
Started it right at the front hip of Adam LaRoche. Boy.
How about that?
Well, get him now because he's eventually going to settle in. 3-2 now. I'm thinking he might go with something off speed here, Darren, with a base open.
Well, he has yet to throw the slow curveball. 3-2. He just did. Popped up. Going back on it is Ricky Weeks. He makes the play. Connor with a bluff draws the throw. That won't get it done. The first big slow breaking ball of the game. And LaRoche comes up empty. Defensively, Braun, Edmonds, Garrett, outfield. McGee, Escobar, solid shortstop with Weeks and Fielder at first. And Kataris is behind the plate. Garrett athletically does a nice job out there, has struggled with the bat in his hands. But he has never struggled against Arizona.
All right, now it's time to find a way here. If you're Mark Reynolds, got to find a way to get this run in. You can't settle for just one run in the top of the first when you've gotten off to such a great start.
Not with, as you mentioned, a veteran who will settle in.
Exactly.
Unless you keep him uneasy. Diamondbacks hitting .313 with runners in scoring position this year. Last night was only the third time all season they didn't have a hit in that situation. He doesn't like Wolf either.
Absolutely detests him. Like I said, just a ground ball away from making it a 2-0 game. And a little breathing room for Valdez, your pitcher.
Yeah, what a job that guy did. With the Brewers and their offense bearing down on him in his second major league start. We can't say that enough. The 0-2. Line drive, base hit right field. That's better than a ground ball. Mark Reynolds drives him in. And the Diamondbacks lead it 2-0. Let it travel deep into his stance. Well, there's certainly a spark plug when you drive him in. For Reynolds, 26 runs batted in.
Well, what a great job of 0-2 hitting right there by Mark Reynolds. He makes a mistake, 0-2. Mark Reynolds not trying to pull it, not thinking home run. Just drill it the other way. That is a beautiful piece of hitting right there by Mark Reynolds. That's how you pick up your offense. The guy in front of you struggles. Got a fresh haircut, doesn't he?
I like it.
I like it better. Attaboy, Mark.
And by the way,
it's one to look more like you and I think that's what it is, isn't it?
You think that he considered that at any point?
No.
Here's Chris Young. That one runs in. Well, let it be known, the two gentlemen we pointed out as we visited with you early on in the day, Justin Upton and Mark Reynolds, struggled against Wolf. Both have had hits in this inning. And they're on the base pads right now. Curveball, Kataris, nice job blocking that one up.
Keep that double play in order. That's a great job there by Kataris. He got his catcher's glove back.
I tell you, right there in the middle of the lineup, whether it's second, first, sixth, wherever they opt to put him, there's sort of a glue-like factor to Connor Jackson being back. The quality of the at-bats, he'll be the first to tell you, I'm not a Mark Reynolds, I'm not a Justin Upton. But there's something that calms the entire lineup with the length of his at-bats, his ability to reach, that just makes a difference with these Diamondbacks.
I like the length of that first at-bat. First good pitch you see, whack it.
You're right.
That's what I'm a believer in. I'm not a big believer in, this guy sees 4.2 pitches per at-bat. Man, I just like the first good one you get. Go ahead and whack it somewhere.
And that's what he does. But he does not go up there whacking or swinging at pitches that are over his head or in the dirt.
Exactly. Yeah, that's knowing the difference between a good pitch to hit and a bad pitch to hit. Oh, baby. Right down the middle he was taken. Must have been looking off speed.
Young, 25 runs batted in, was 0 for 4 last night. In this situation, drives in as many runs as anyone in the game, as that one is outside. That's why that RBI total is so high. 22 RBIs with runners in scoring position, third best in the big leagues. He's not a kid anymore. We put some expectations on Chris Young, especially after last year. Looks like a young Mark Grace hiding under that hat with that blonde hair. There's another one.
He's a much more handsome version of a young Mark Grace.
There's another one. The 3-2. A take on a pitch that dies right at the strike. So was that a changeup?
It's a 3-2 changeup, and he just missed. Good patience there from Young.
So A.J. Hinch looking at the lefty-lefty matchup. As you see this one more time, the changeup.
He just dips late down out of the zone. Boy, an opportunity now for Tony Abreu to really bust this thing open early.
But A.J. opted for this man to get the start today.
Now with the lefty pitching, Stephen Drew getting a rest, and Tony Abreu's earned the looks somewhere. He's just hitting way too well. How long can you keep a 370 hitter on the bench?
Well, he had a career-high 4-hit game on getaway day in Houston. Had 16 hits this year.
And Stephen Drew will be right back in there tomorrow.
This is Thursday night in Houston, Texas. Oh, by the way, he did that at short, not his natural position. Bouncing ball this time, though, they may get two. There's one on to first. That is a double play. So Arizona gets a pair. They lead it 2-0. Would have hoped for more, but Abreu ends it. Let's take a look at defensively how they have stacked up. Connor Jackson, Chris Young, Justin Upton. It's brought to you by Jaguar, and they tell us Mark Reynolds, Tony Abreu, Kelly Johnson, LaRoche are on the infield. And Chris Snyder, Snipe Piece, they like to call him, is behind home plate.
One of the better nicknames.
Well, it is, but so is Kojak, and he is out in left field. Connor Jackson, and he looks just fine. Glad to have him back out here. You were submitting to our viewers that maybe the best place to have rehab assignments to play in games and make sure everything's all right. It's right here in the big leagues.
Right here in the big leagues. Go ahead and get your at-bats right up here.
Wasted a homer down there.
Yeah, that's what I was telling him. Man, you might go down there and waste some knocks.
There's Garrett again, having a horrible season, but he's facing the Diamondbacks. Jody Garrett, a .368 career hitter against Arizona. That is his 4th home run in 69 at-bats. Just to quickly tell you, he was 4 for 30 to start the season. 133, and it's 2-1. Maybe it is the uniform. Maybe it is.
I think you might be right, and maybe it's a belt-tie sinker. Oh, I love those mics. You know, you hope the Diamondbacks aren't ruining that they only got 2 runs out of that first inning. Now, what could have been close to a 4 or 5 run inning, they let Wolf off the hook with the inning-ending double play with the bases loaded. Jody Garrett, boy, what a rocket that was into the right field seats.
A little topper, and it's fouled off. 0-1 the count. Backstop George Kataris. Garrett, you can remember he and John Roush had a couple of battles, and Garrett won them all last year.
Every one of them.
Ricky Weeks with a big home run last night, sitting and smiling next to Jody. Maybe some of that will rub off on him.
Darren, do you remember that sensational catch former Diamondback Alex Romero made in San Diego a couple of years ago?
Certainly.
That was Jody Garrett off of John Roush.
Racing into the gap. Into right center field, the 1-2. Takes a change up that misses away.
And then he homered a couple times more off of him after that.
It's funny, I don't remember any outs, but you just reminded me of one.
Yeah, it was a 420-foot out on one of the best catches I've ever seen.
The 2-2. Slaps that one up and into the seats. Milwaukee glad to be heading home soon. They are wrapping up a 3-city trip similar to the one the Diamondbacks just completed. And they're kind of, with regard to their offensive potential, a team that is very difficult to explain this year. Boy, look at the dive on that sinker. When you hear a scout say that's a swing and miss sinker, there's your example.
I guess so. 89 miles an hour. That wasn't the changeup. That just dipped right underneath the barrel of the bat. Terrific pitch.
Alcides Escobar gets ready to go to work. The young shortstop. But Milwaukee went to San Diego for 4 and lost 3 of 4. They went to LA for 3, won 2 of 3. They have had 12 games this year, and you can make it actually 13, including last night, where they have scored 3 runs or less. But they're one of the best offensive teams in baseball. But they've scored 20 as well this year in a game. That one is outside, 1-1. They've scored 17. They've scored 11.
20.
They've scored 11 4 times. But they've also come up empty quite a bit as well. The 1-1 to the young shortstop. Good sink and dive over the inside corner. 1-2 the count to Escobar. Young Venezuelan signed with Milwaukee back in 2003. Slider. Doesn't throw too many of those. If he throws 100 pitches, maybe 10.
I think that might be a little high. It's by far his third pitch, but he wants the change up. Let's see if he delivers it. He did. Boy, did he ever. There's the change up. Down it goes. Snyder stays right with it. Beautiful pitch. Spend Friday and Saturday nights in Uptown.
Oh,
baby.
boy.
The exclusive new fan zone behind right fielder Justin Upton. Fans in Uptown get a limited edition rally towel and will have a chance to catch an autographed baseball. So what you do to get there is call 602-462-4794 or visit dbacks.com/Uptown.
I tell you, it's a great spot. Loaded up with Little Leaguers tonight. I mean, a bushel full of them out there as that one is in. Desert Foothills, Tempe South, Queen Creek, to name a few. Wickenburg represented out there. Dynamite, Cal Ripken, Royal Palm, Orangewood. All out there in Uptown. Look at the great different colored shirts. Little D-backs leagues. The 1-1 as that one is fouled off. Diamondbacks donate a portion of the sale from tonight's games to the Little Leaguers and will proudly contribute over $10,000 to the leagues in attendance tonight. And it's all part of
Uptown.
We got to get out there.
We should do an open from out there or something like that.
I know I was talking to you the other day, and you were kind of moping around, so I had to wait.
I've been doing that a lot lately. Oh, boy.
Pulled the string, the changeup dives down and away. He just struck out the side. Better said, 5 strikeouts to start the night. One run closer. He has been haunting, and I mean haunting the Diamondbacks for years. As a matter of fact, this man, Alex Romero, the only one to bail out Diamondbacks pitchers. Gracie, that's the play you're talking about.
One of the best catches I've ever seen. Alex Romero. I still don't know how he did it. That saved the ball game, as you could tell from the reaction in the Diamondbacks dugout. That was Doug Davis, he of the Brewers now, the recipient of that love.
Double D fired up, miss him already. Can't get enough of him.
I miss his hitting.
Well, he wasn't much of a hitter. Snyder pops it up. That was a slider to Snyder. And Weeks puts it away. Well, it was.
You're right.
And so now Cesar Valdez. How about his stuff tonight? Valdez.
Pretty doggone good. Ball diving. He's got 5 strikeouts through a couple innings.
The 0-1. Fouls that one off. Valdez in the minor leagues this year was 5 for 31, hit 161, or I should say in his big league career in professional ball. And his first outing was hitless in 3 at bats. One and two, the count to Valdez. Uh-oh, there's that slow curveball. He got him as it dives down low. If you want to ask us a question, just hop on to the Diamondbacks page at foxsportsarizona.com and email the booth. We'll answer as many as we can on the air, at least a couple of them tonight. Also, let us know if you're watching in someplace fun and unique that might surprise us. Let us know. Back east somewhere, in the deep south.
We'd love to hear from you.
Maybe Tuscaloosa, Alabama. Tupelo, Mississippi. 0-1 the count. All the ships at sea, if you happen to be bringing us in.
Yeah.
We'd love to get an email from you, and you'll immediately move to the front of the line as we thank you for your service.
Right, you will.
The 1-1.
Good fastball right on the inside corner.
Thank you, sir, for your service. 1 ball and 2 strikes, 2 outs. That a fair ball? Yes, it is. Fooled Kelly Johnson, ran it up and in. He had doubled and scored back in the first.
And throwing a bullet right on the money to get Kelly Johnson. That saved the ball game for the Brewers. It was 3-2 at that time. That helped it remain 3-2 for the rest of the game. Man, that was impressive.
He was sharing today that the backhand, obviously the hardest part of that play. He said, once I was able to come up with it, I realized, well, I may as well give it a throw. But you take it a step further, it's not just coming up with it, but then quickly transferring
it all in one motion and then just throwing a perfect strike.
The 1-0 to Weeks is a change up that grabs the
It's
inside
just tough
corner.
to tell with him, isn't it?
You heard me pause, didn't you? Is a change up, I think. Well, he'll throw a change up all the way up to 86, 87 miles an hour. That's a
the
fastball.
sinker. It has to be.
Yeah, it has to be. I agree with you there.
Yeah, that's the fastball. It's pretty well located, too.
One and two, the count to Ricky. That was a changeup. He overthrew it, 87 miles an hour. The reason I know, I cheated a peek at Chris Snyder giving all four fingers wiggling. Otherwise, you'd never think that was a changeup, would you?
He wants another change up. He wants it down. Oh, boy, Ricky Weeks showing good patience there, able to lay off of it.
Ricky's younger brother, Jameel Weeks, is in the A's organization. This year hitting over 300 in Double-A Midland. Played in the Fall League, played very well in the Fall League. Future is bright for the young second baseman as well. Been nagging injuries, though, that have set Ricky back. Cost him a total of a couple of seasons in his brief big league career. Wrist injuries, arm injuries. I think the hope is for Weeks to spend the next 5 years healthy and see what he can become. Because I don't think we totally know yet.
We've seen flashes of just unbelievable ability.
Base hit, right field. He just fought that one off. And he's got a couple of hits.
Kelly Johnson playing him to pull. So what do? You just swat it the other way. Kelly Johnson can't catch up with it. Nice piece of hitting there by Weeks.
Weeks a big kid, kind of reminds you body type of Justin Upton. You know, a bigger guy that has great speed. I remember when Ricky initially signed, you saw those strong legs and that bigger upper body, and you thought, well, he'll run well, but I used to say from the right side of the batter's box outside of Willie Taveras, because I was able to see him play every day. He was as fast as it gets. I'd put he and Justin in that same category, outside of Willie Taveras, who never reaches any more anyway, as that one swung right through. For bigger, stronger guys, both Weeks and Upton can fly out of the box from the right side. 0-1 the count. D-backs lead it by a score of 2-1. A couple of runs in the first inning. RBIs by Reynolds and Connor Jackson. Change up inside, 1-1. Edmonds last night.
Very typical of Jimmy. Driving it hard the other way. That's what makes people really dangerous. When you've got the ability to hit home runs the opposite field and you're a low ball hitter, you think you throw a perfect pitch and it leaves the park. It's an unsettling feeling for a pitcher knowing if I go down and away, that's right in his wheelhouse.
One ball and one strike to count. Has him reaching on a change. And they go out front in Weeks.
Such a good play by LaRoche. Such a good play.
That's the last place I thought he'd go, Grayson.
That's just confidence and knowing your game. Weeks not even sliding. Just knew there wasn't going to be a play at second base. That's a lesson for all you young base runners out there. When the play's behind you, just go in there as hard as you can, thinking ahead of time that they may be able to get you. He slowed up, and because of that, well, he's out.
Boy, it's nice to have
Super play.
a sure-handed first baseman out there every single day. And it's not at all in the championship year of 07 that man who's currently in left, it's not that he wasn't trying to play first base in Connor Jackson. He was. But he's more comfortable out there, and that man at first is a first baseman.
Exactly.
And Connor, a real good one.
Yeah, Connor did the best he could, but Connor's an outfielder. That's all he's ever been. And he's not comfortable at first base, and it showed. Alan Rose, first baseman, he's a pretty doggone good one.
1-0 the count. Braun and Fielder, part of our fan poll tonight. Best righty-lefty home run hitting duo in baseball today. Is it Braun and Fielder? Is it Worth and Howard, Longoria and Pena, or is it Zimmerman and Big Adam Dunn? Well, I know where I'm voting. 36929, 36929 to vote for Dunn.
I'm going for Zimmerman and Dunn. I will go no E. Anytime we can go Big Adam Dunn on this show, we do it. Can't get enough of him.
2-1 the count.
There it is. Big Adam Dunn.
Come on, guys. Let's go.
Move it along. Right that way. There we go.
Down the road. Can't get enough of Big Adam Dunn.
Although Braun and Fielder, it's tough to go against them, but
we like them.
We love them. But we love Big Adam Dunn more.
Keep voting for Adam Dunn, please. Ryan Zimmerman, best friends with Mark Reynolds and Justin Upton. Great relationship.
By the
that
way,
one is away.
Ryan Zimmerman is a terrific ball player. He's becoming a top 5 player in the game as well.
Come on.
There you go.
There
Keep
we
it
go.
up.
Come on. We expect it to be 99-1. Come on, folks. We need you texting. You Brewers fans, stay away. 3-1 the count. Just got the outside corner. That was one I can tell you. I'm not sure what it was.
Yeah, Braun disagrees with the call, but that nicked the outside corner.
He tends to be a regular man of disagreement.
Yeah, he's got a little bit of Paul O'Neill in him, doesn't he?
That's a great comparison.
Paul O'Neill, whom I respect and love, but he never agreed with a called strike, even if it was right down the middle.
Runner goes. It's in the dirt. Flips the bat in the air. Flippantly, certainly, as Ryan draws the walk.
First baseman, Prince Fielder.
Talking about some of the great all-time lefty-righty duos, the best with 40-plus. A-Rod, Palmeiro, both going over that number, 57, 43. How about that? About 100 between the two of them.
Well, I got to believe I'm in there. Sammy Sosa and I combined for 83 home runs in 1998.
That's 40 or more.
He had 66 and I had 17. Yep, one of the greatest of all time. Righty-lefty combinations. Oh, Darren, I'm proud to be a part of that.
Anyway, 0-1 the count to Prince Fielder.
I thank Sammy Sosa 66 times for that. It's always an honor to be a part of history.
Swung right through it. 0-2 the count. Now best of the 80s. Now those are ball players.
Look at those old Brewer. Look at that. Gorman Thomas and Ben Ogilvy.
Goodness gracious. Look at Big Spike, they called him. Gorman Thomas. Ben Ogilvy. Quiet Ben.
All he did was just pull the ball right down the line 41 times for homers.
Earlier this year, we were in San Diego, and we had a chance to run into a guy that I loved. Watching hit in Detroit. He'd hang over the plate. I think Darrell Evans and Davey Johnson, 2 more ball players in there.
Darrell Evans starting to get some run on this show, I understand.
Well, you're right. He was a guest on the show.
Davey Johnson, people don't remember what a great home run hitter he was. They remember him as the Mets manager in the World Series season, but they don't remember what a terrific second baseman and home run hitter he was.
1-2 the count. Trying to reel things back in against Prince, and it's high. A fastball there. So as he works here in the third inning, Cesar Valdez again with his back against the wall. And a bit of a bind, and he's thrown 56 pitches. And that's a number that he wants to manage. Fielder lifts the ball so much. The guy that is very tough to double up. Puts it on the ground that time, though, and it finds the outfield. They're going to send the runner on around at Edmonds. Upton fires it behind the runner. We're tied at 2. As we say that with Fielder, he does put it on the ground, but it's for an RBI.
That's a couple of softly hit ground balls that have gotten through. That one bounces about 3 or 4 times, but it gets through the right side. Perfectly placed between LaRoche and Johnson. Justin Upton playing very deep, respecting Fielder's power, and we've got a brand new ball game.
Just the side of Harvey's wall bangers inspired Prince Fielder. 2-2 the score. All right, Mr. Valdez. 5 innings, 1 run allowed, first time out, 96 pitches. See if he can manage his pitches a little better. This is a chance to get McGee on the ground and get back in the dugout. Instead, it's a broken bat, and it's dumped into left center field. Jackson is up with it. Fires it back into the cutoff man. Braun races around to score. Just like that, the Milwaukee Brewers lead it 3-2 over the Diamondbacks.
Yeah, another situation where the ball's not hit all that hard, right off the end of the bat. But they're finding lots of safe areas out there to hit the ball in between these Diamondback defenders. And all of a sudden now, Valdez fighting for his life out there.
When you find yourself looking back as Jody Garrett digs in and takes strike 1. Solo home run in the second inning at the first inning, and you tell yourself, all right, the boys got 4 hits. 2 of them were extra base hits, and there was a walk, and they came up with 2 runs, meaning the Diamondbacks.
They let Randy Wolf off the hook big time.
And a team like Milwaukee, who is very confident offensively, especially with Fielder and Braun right there in the middle. I would imagine immediately words of encouragement for Randy when they got back in that dugout. We got you.
We got you.
Inspiration.
Yeah.
It should have been about 4-0, they all were thinking. The 0-2. Ground ball, base hit again. Has eyes. Sneaks right through. They'll stop Prince. The bases are loaded. Jody Garrett with a single.
Well, Adam LaRoche, once again, just can't get to it. Once again, just perfectly placed ground balls. Not much you can do if you're Valdez. You're getting the ground balls you want. What could easily be double plays, just for some reason scouting report seems to have the fielders where those balls are not going. There's really nothing you can do about it if you're Valdez. Just keep rolling up ground balls, and hopefully eventually one of them will turn into a double play ball, and you can end the game, end the inning.
So now the catcher, George Kotaris, and he struck out back in the second inning, part of 7, 8, 9 all going down in order on strikeouts. Five games, 1 in a row by the Brewers in this series. As that one is low, 1-0 the count. They swept the series at home last year. Or I should say the Diamondbacks were swept at home by Milwaukee last year. And that series was in September the 11th, 12th, and 13th. Bases loaded. And time is called.
An indecision on what he was going to throw there, so just step right off and try it again.
The Brewers this year with the bases loaded hit .448.
Goodness gracious. That doesn't bode well for the boys in black. Especially now on a 2-0 count.
Tough night again in Houston, Texas. They're trailing 2-0 to the division-leading San Diego Padres. 8th inning.
It's officially time to call the Houston Astros a stinky team.
The 2-0. High, 3-0 the count.
This one very close to getting away from Valdez here.
7 bases loaded walks issued this year by Diamondbacks pitchers. Number 1 in Major League Baseball. One more wide one away from adding to that lead. And there it is. That's 8. 8 times this year the Diamondbacks have handed an RBI to the opposing club. Without swinging the bat, they are able to drive in a run. 8 times. Alcides Escobar, 4-2 the score. Boyer will begin to warm.
I think what has happened here to Cesar Valdez is, all these seeing eye ground balls. Gosh, I'm pitching to contact and nothing good's happening. So now I'm going to have to start nibbling a little bit. Next thing you know, you're walking in runners. So it's just gotten away from him here in the 3rd inning.
You are right on the money. That couldn't be a better assessment, because when you have the kind of movement that Valdez has and you move out to the corner, it's going to move out of the zone. You follow me, folks? Because in order to throw strikes, he's got to start on the other side of the plate.
You got to aim down the middle and let the movement take it to the corners. And, well, that hadn't been working because of all the ground ball base hits. So, wow, this is not working. Let me try to get him to strike out. Well, now you're going out of your game.
And a slider. He's thrown about 2 or 3 of those in the ball game. Of the 66 pitches he has thrown as he works here in the 3rd inning. The 1-1. Buried that fastball in. There is a break. Infield fly rule.
That helps.
Wow. For a ground ball pitcher to get it out like that in the air is huge. With the pitcher coming up. But Wolf, who struck out in the 2nd, is a good hitter.
He is a very good hitter. Always has been throughout his career. I guess you'd have to say, if you can get out of this one with just 3, I guess you'd take that, wouldn't you?
I think you would. Last home run last August here, as that one is outside. Had 3 RBIs and a double as well in that game. Randy on August 16th having a big night.
That one past Josh Weitzel.
Boy, he had a big swing. Ground ball, LaRoche off his chest, tries to recover, can't do it. Another run for the Brewers. Randy Wolf swings the bat, scalds one out to first, and it's 5-2 Milwaukee.
I would imagine that's going to go as an error. Ball just comes up and eats Adam LaRoche right up, right in the chest. That is an error, and boy, that one hurt. It hurt him physically, and it hurt the ball club there. Because now Ricky Weeks, who's 2 for 2, are going to hit with the bases loaded.
Change up, swung right over the top of it. Weeks last night, I'll talk about a no-doubter, went up to Fatburger zone.
Extra cheese.
Like any good Wisconsinite would say.
Oh, okay. That's enough of that. I'm hungry.
Love it out there. Would love a couple sent to the booth. 0-1 the count. He went around. Weeks not so sure about that.
C.B. Buckner, the first base umpire on that call.
I'll tell you, with all the hand and wrist injuries that Ricky has had, he may as well not check his swing period.
Ever again.
Because that's where it has happened. He's got that Gary Sheffield bat wag in the batter's box. And I say that respectfully to Brewers fans watching this, because Sheffield not fondly remembered in Wisconsin. Pulled the string on him. It's a changeup.
Full swing on that one.
A full swing, and he came up empty, but a huge inning. A lot of seeing eyeballs and a lot of runs.
Manager Charlie Manuel was terrific with players in this belief system, in this can-do attitude.
Talking about the influences A.J. Hinch has had leading up to. That was a year ago today in his introductory press conference. And the one thing that we love, the bit of karma, as he reflected on one of his favorite managers, is that Charlie Manuel likes hitters.
Oh, yeah.
And the D-backs need some hitting tonight.
For Charlie Manuel, all pitchers do is just get in the way of the hitters.
The old necessary evil.
That's it. You have to have it. I can't get enough of Charlie Manuel either.
Well, he and Big Adam Dunn, as it's Connor Jackson to lead it off.
It's time for the offense to get back after it. The Brewers have bought their hitting shoes.
Well, you talk about offense. The men in black, the team offensively. With regard to slugging, runs per game, they have been an incredibly dangerous team this year. Let's see if they can get it going against the left-hander and Wolf. Connor, as we mentioned earlier, he'll swing when he's good and ready as that two-strike pitch dives down and in. Inside, backing him out of there. 2-2 the count. A couple of gentlemen, both out of El Camino Real High School at different times. Both about 4 years older. The 2-2. In on the hands, buried it in there. It's popped up to Ricky Weeks, so nothing doing there for Connor Jackson. You can see the roster move today. Connor Jackson, his first game since April 18th. Gerardo Parra, so much good work with runners in scoring position last year. He got Rookie of the Year votes. Now finds himself headed to AAA, hitting in about the 260s the majority of the year, but it done some good things. There's no doubt about that.
He made a game-saving catch in Houston, made a great play in right field here last evening to take away a double from Giovanni Gallardo. He's going to make game-saving plays in Reno for a while.
Let's hope to get him back here soon. Paul Gillespie staying. As the curveball is outside, I think the natural assumption would be that Cole would go back down to the minor leagues. Homered last night. 1-1 the count to Justin Upton. Big swing and fouled it off there. Kataris, who will walk it out. Our Amica Insurance Hot Zone, of course, proud partners of the Boys and Girls Club of Metropolitan Phoenix. Boys and Girls Clubs, I should say. ...2005 draft. The #1 pick overall, that man, Justin Upton. The 5th player taken, Ryan Braun. A couple of good ball players in that draft. Right before Braun was Zimmerman. Tulowitzki right after Braun.
No busts there.
Andrew McCutchen was the 11th pick in that draft for Pittsburgh.
Good player.
Matt Garza, Minnesota Twins now.
Having a great year.
Drafted
with the Rays.
initially by the Rays. Or the Twins, I should say, that moved to the Rays. When we talk about Zimmerman there, we want to remind all of you to vote for Zimmerman and Adam Dunn in our text poll.
Lots of times.
36929 and text D.
We want Adam Dunn to win.
The 1-2. That pitch is low. 2-2 the count. Got to really get those. What do you text with your thumbs?
Thumbs.
That way you use. So got to get folks really ready to go for Tuesday when we broadcast from the pool, and you'll be a candidate. As that one bounces in there to be voted in. I mean, voted into the pool.
Me?
You're a candidate.
Along with you?
I'm out.
Oh, you did it so well last year. That was one of the better belly flops we've seen in a while.
Yeah. As Brophy represents at the ball yard. I'm out now. The 3-2. Poked that one into the seats. Not a lot of room to take a dive into a pool. I want you to do this, Gracie, right here.
Watch this belly flop.
Bam! I want that going on.
Oh, man. As my youngest son would say, that splash went all the way up to the sky.
We'll be out there Tuesday, May 11th. Upton on the ground. Well, they've got it positioned perfectly. Weeks played it on a backhand. Snatched at the ball before he fires in time for the second out. Hey, guys in the truck, who's he up against? I mean, who is he competing against?
Am I competing against anybody? I mean, I think Brad Steinke was one of the.
Jody will be one. She's out there. Joe Borowski.
Joe Borowski, Jody Jackson.
Todd Walsh.
Todd Walsh.
Ooh. We might have to get him in.
Yep, we got to get. Todd's got to get in the pool.
1-0 the count. So, folks, join us Tuesday. We look forward to it. We'll have a blast out there. Now, neither one of you guys are going in.
I don't know about you, but I think that polling may be rigged for the new guy on the crew.
It could be you, Joe. And I've been known to play dirty pool.
Guys, I vote for Todd.
Jody, I would imagine most of our male viewers are probably going to vote for you.
Well, I guess I'll just have to dress accordingly.
Yeah, I ruined a shirt last year. Really appreciate that. 2-1 the count.
When I heard it was a fan vote, I figured Gracie definitely.
But remember, Joe, Gracie.
It was a fan vote last year too, and they unanimously voted Darren Sutton into the pool.
I won by like 2 votes. We got 35,000 total votes last year, by the way. 2-2 the count.
So what you're telling me is I should bring a bathing suit with me to the park on Tuesday.
Yeah, it would probably be a good idea. I'm going to bring mine just in case. You don't want to get caught having to go in maybe one of your nice outfits.
This is true.
You mean his pajamas?
You said it. I didn't.
kidding, Joe.
Good to see.
I think it's beautiful, Jody. Get him.
Good to see Gracie's pass list made it in.
He made it.
Down on strikes.
Randy Wolf settling in.
LaRoche goes down. Wolf settling in next Tuesday. Unbelievable. Ruined the shirt.
Right in you go there, D-Side.
Shorts were ruined.
Look out!
Terrible. Opening things up as it gets more mild in the valley. Open those panels up, open up that roof, and our AT ARI trivia question. We're going back to campus. That's the bottom line. Who are Pepperdine University's top 3 all-time strikeout leaders? For Pepperdine, top 3 all-time. Very good question. So visit a college campus near you. Start thinking about it. As that one is a sinker that grabs the outside corner to Edmonds. 0-1 the count. Just head on down Pacific Coast Highway to Pepperdine in
Beautiful
Malibu.
campus there in Malibu.
Who didn't want to play there?
Yeah.
Breaking ball. Again, just a handful he throws, but he shows it to Edmonds. 1-1 the count. You, of course, attended San Diego State.
Yeah, we got tired of beating Pepperdine after a while.
Anyway, the 1-1. A mile high rush to center field. Young going back, still going. To the balcony, right underneath it, and he makes the play for the out. That overhang nearly reached out and grabbed that baseball.
Almost came into play there.
Wow.
It just makes you wonder. I'm sure Young will get asked just how close was it to reaching that overhang, because it had the height. Like the old Tiger Stadium, sometimes those high fly balls, the right fielder would get underneath it and it would go in the upper deck because it hung out over the field level seats.
Well, a quick fourth is mandatory as 5 runs have crossed the plate. It's not easy to do, though, when you have the Edmonds-Braun fielder trio. Braun walked back in the 3rd inning, was disgusted with one of the calls, so as he walked, flipped his bat and took off his equipment. Very upset about a close pitch. And Ryan takes low. 2-0 the count.
Oh, yeah. Thank you, folks.
Well, I'd like to get it up to 80-85% if possible, please. Don't want to leave anything to chance, because on this show you can't get enough of Big Adam Dunn. The 2-0.
It looks to me like Ryan Braun is just going to decide to, well, take every pitch, because I think right now he's having trouble gauging that sinker and changeup, and everything's dipping out of the zone, so I'm just going to take. Now let's see if he's swinging here. Oh, yeah, he's swinging. Look out, Tony Abreu.
I think he had him gauged pretty good. The big bat out of the University of Miami, a screamer to Abreu, who's there to make the play.
Boy, bang. Don't get hurt, Tony Abreu. He didn't. He found a way to grab it. Two very loud outs.
One and 0 the count, so the right-handed version of the righty-lefty slugging duo is erased. Fielder digs in from the left side. Of course, 50 home runs a couple of years ago. 46 last year. Big swing. Let's go back to the best before 1960.
Wally Post and Ted Kluszewski.
Look at Big Clue with those shorter sleeves that he wore.
That was back when, if you had big arms before weightlifting.
You bet.
Wally Post making an appearance in a graphic.
Way out in front of that one. 1-2 the count to Prince. 60s, Gracie.
Let's go to the 60s.
Your decade, the decade you were born.
Oh, man, Rocky Colavito and Norm Cash. That's awesome.
The 1-2.
Oh, man.
Looked like he changed up on him there, and Fielder goes down on strike. So,
you wanted the quick inning.
I also want some runs right after this commercial break, so don't go anywhere. Here at Chase Field, glad to have you back. 5-2 the score. Going college on you. AT&T trivia question. Pepperdine University's all-time strikeout leaders. Dan Herron's got to be on that list.
I would say Mike Fetter's got to be in there too, doesn't he?
Oh, the Fet Man as that one dives low and inside. And Randy Wolf is number one.
I did not know Randy Wolf went to Pepperdine.
Oh, you bet. Pepperdine, before that, El Camino Real High School in Woodland Hills. Our producer Mark Rita's favorite school. As that one is in.
Yeah, we got tired of beating Pepperdine.
2-0 the count. Wolf tonight in the first inning. 2 runs, 4 hits, 7 batters, 28 pitches since then. No runs, no hits. 6 batters, 29 pitches.
And he has officially settled in. We said he would, Darren. Diamondbacks got a couple off of him in the first inning, but you felt like, you know what, they really left a lot out there that inning. The bases loaded double play ball, ended the inning. Could have been much more, and Milwaukee hadn't looked back since.
Trying to get out of a hole, 2-1, threw him a changeup, and Reynolds, a nice take. Mark, beautiful piece of hitting.
Last year, he might have chased that pitch, Darren.
Oh, I would agree. This time it's a ground ball. It's off the glove of McGee. And so Reynolds reaches. Tried to play it on a backhand.
When you got the bat speed that Mark Reynolds has, you generate a lot of top spin. That ball just eats up McGee, who, well, as a third baseman, he's a pretty doggone good hitter.
Don't forget, get to know Mark Reynolds when the Diamondback star talks about his career, his life, and his brand new family. And in my own words, Mark Reynolds premieres Monday at 5:30 only on Fox Sports Arizona. Gracie likes to call it a real-life Romeo and Juliet story.
By the way, they gave that an error right there, and that's a terrible, terrible call by the official scorer. Terrible.
We talked about Mark Reynolds going about 2-guard with the Clippers in that fresh haircut. Can't see it now. Jody Jackson, what do you know about that?
Well, you might not believe who cut his hair. You might think, well, he goes to a barbershop, hair, no, it was Adam LaRoche. Kind of funny. Yeah, Adam LaRoche gave him that haircut. I don't know if it was like earlier today or yesterday. It must have been earlier today, but I'm told it was a number 3. And it looks like a buzz cut to me, but I guess a buzz cut would be like a 2 or a 1, right?
Well, that's okay, though. 3 is it's close.
But I said, it's good because the upcoming road trip, Atlanta, Florida, humidity series, it's a good move prior to that. And he said he just got tired of having hair. So the multi-talented Adam LaRoche has also become a team barber. And
wow, look at that.
Thank you, Jody.
Maybe a 2 setting there on that rascal.
Mm-hmm. Drives him back to the bag.
I get a 2 on the side and on the back, and about a 4 on the top. You need a haircut, Darren. By the way,
you're like a porcupine.
Long hair is coming back, though. Not for me.
Not in my house. It's not. That one is up and away.
You know what? My son's up here. My son Jackson's up here in the booth with me. He looks like he needs a haircut.
Got to get him in. All you young men out there, get that haircut short. Don't be a woolly booger, as Gracie likes to call him, like that guy.
Woolly booger right there from Milwaukee.
The 1-0. Popped up. Edmonds tracking. And he is there to make the play for the out in shallow center field. Hey, by the way, we asked you to hop online. Let us know on foxsportsarizona.com if you were maybe outside of Arizona. We love our Arizona viewers. But someone new, unique, maybe watching from around the world. How about hello from forward operating location in Curacao. It's Tech Sergeant John Compton, United States Air Force, deployed to the island, and he never misses a game. Sergeant, thank you so much for your service, and we're glad you're watching.
You got that right. I think my son and his 2 buddies are here. Colin and Spencer, I think they're all 3 going to get haircuts while they're up here. Don't you think, Darren?
Well, I think Tech Sergeant John Compton would want that to happen.
Man. It'll be a clipper cut. No scissors in those military haircuts.
Well, scissors at their age are good for arts and crafts. Cut out paper, glue things.
There you go. That's what they'll look like when they leave the booth. There, now we're talking. Meanwhile, Chris Snyder with a 1-1 count, looking to drive something to gap and score Mark Reynolds.
Drives it down the line. It is deep. Toward the foul pole it goes. Way up into the all-you-can-eat section, but it is foul.
Goodness gracious. Chris Snyder crushing a ball just foul.
Phil Brown is watching in Caracas in Venezuela. Phil, thank you. Where Rusty Ryle spent this last winter learning to play left field.
The capital city.
The 1-2. Got him. Fastball over the inside corner. An error allowed Reynolds to reach, then Wolf shut it down. 1-2-3. Light fun tonight, because we talked about Pepperdine's Mike Fetters earlier. Who is the better Fetters? Carlos Villanueva with the big deep breath in the peak, or in September of 2002, well, my very own broadcast partner Mark Grace. Who is the better Fetters?
Well, I might do the better Fetters, but Villanueva is a better pitcher. He didn't give one up in the restaurant to David Ross.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Digging some stuff up from the archives. Darren and Mark, glad to have you back at the ballpark. You gave one up. Now you know how the rest of us feel.
Why don't we ever show the outs I got? I got 3 outs. I only gave up 1 hit, but it was a blast. Come on, show some outs.
Any strikeouts?
No.
Nah, forget it.
No strikeouts.
Casey McGee to lead it off as we quickly move along. McGee singled and scored and grounded out to short. Valdez, 1-2-3 in the 4th, and a slider. Nips the outside corner, 0-1 the count. Folks, the Houston Astros scored a run. They trail San Diego 2-1.
They're dancing in the streets. And the Lone Star State of and Houston, Texas is 0-2 now. Another slider there, Darren.
Now, rarely do you see that pitch twice in an at bat, let alone twice in an inning.
So how many errors did San Diego make to allow Houston to score a run?
Yeah, that's kind of a bold assumption right there. 3 sliders in a row. Corey Hart
Troublesome.
doing a lot of watching lately, has struggled to start the year. As that one is fouled off at the plate.
He was on the All-Star team a couple of years ago.
Mm-hmm. It's been certainly a fall from grace a bit for Hart, if you will. Guy for his size with great speed, runs the bases very well. Right now, they're not getting the production they want out of Corey, as that one bounces in there. Hart hitting .257 this year, so it's not as if he's hitting .107. 2-2 the count. Our Quest high-speed internet, high-speed pitch. Andy Wolf has gotten 92, Valdez 90. Wolf's fastball straight, Valdez not at all. The 2-2 takes low, 3-2 the count. That was in 2007, and this is one of the years you're talking about where Hart hit 295, 24 homers, 23 stolen bases. Drove in 81 runs, drove in 91 runs the next year.
Boy, Valdez really taking his time in between pitches.
This is pitch number 91. Broke his bat, popped it up just enough to race it. Still coming. Oh, it drops in. It's a shame for Valdez. As Casey McGee, a couple of not hard hit balls. And he's 2 for 3.
Right fielder Jody Garrett.
Now, Valdez has given up 8 hits, but only a couple or 3 of them have been hit very hard. Everything off the end of the bat. Justin coming as hard as he can, but nothing he can do. Once again, these Brewers finding a lot of safe areas out there between some fielders.
Playing McGee pretty deep the other way in that at bat as well. Ball hung up a long time. They had to be playing him deep. 0-1 the count over the top of what looked to be a changeup to Jody Garrett. Garrett homered back in the second inning. Singled in the third, but that one he was ready for.
It didn't take very long for that one to get out of here. I mean, on a line.
Down the line it goes. Into the corner, up to replay it. It dies out there. They're sending the runner on around. All the way to score. Garrett standing up with a triple. The Milwaukee Brewers add another. Big Sticks have arrived. They weren't here last night. It's 6-2.
Bell-type fastball right down Broadway, and then Justin didn't go in and get it. He just kind of let it rattle around, and by the time he gets it back in, an RBI triple, and it's going to end up being a tough night for Cesar Valdez.
Boyer comes on, and by the way, for Jody Garrett, he now is a double away from hitting for the cycle. A double. Was hit on occasion. I'll tell you what, there were a lot of ground balls with eyes, and he ends up, I mean, far be it for us, and we rarely do it in here to make any excuses for pitchers, but he had some rough luck tonight.
He did. He got hit hard here in this inning, but you know, the big 4-run third really didn't give up, but maybe one hard hit ball, but yet gave up 4 runs. An error hurt him. Diamondbacks got some work to do now. A lot of it.
Jody Garrett The last cycle for the Milwaukee Brewers was Chad Moeller against the Cincinnati Reds, former Diamondback. Paul Molitor did it. Robin Yount did it. Charlie Moore did it. Mike Hegan did it. It's an interesting game as Blaine Boyer comes on. Boyer's big key has just been, simply put, attacking hitters with his stuff.
Just too many walks. And when you fall behind hitters, you're going to get hit hard as well. So Blaine Boyer, with the stuff he's got.
2-1 the count.
Just doesn't make sense.
Pitch is low.
Once again, 3-1.
Infield all the way in. 3 balls and 1 strike the count. Diamondbacks pitchers have given out 95 walks. 29 have scored. It's about 31% have scored. That's the 3rd highest total in Major League Baseball. Ball 4. And the other tough part of the story certainly has been this Diamondbacks bullpen.
Shortstop Alcides Escobar.
You come into this situation, there's no perfect bullpen situation. Unless it's 10-0 and they need you to get 3 quick outs in the 9th inning. But a chance where, as you mentioned, you throw some zeros when you have the 2nd best offense to the Phillies with regard to runs scored in all of the National League. Well, you put up some zeros, you give yourself a chance. There we go. He fires a strike.
That's a 95-mile-an-hour fastball. You can just throw it over the plate.
Arizona's bullpen ERA 6.45 by a full run, the highest in Major League Baseball. As that one is low. The 29th ranked club, the Pittsburgh Pirates, 5.42. Some of the best, you might ask. The Tigers, just over 2. The Rockies, about 2.5. That's where the Padres are as well. The Mets and the Twins, good bullpens. Shot. There's a break for the Diamondbacks. That's dropped at home plate. Had to come home and get the tag.
Oh, what a bullet. LaRoche makes the play. Great play. Steps on the bag now. Snyder just drops the baseball. Snyder's had the dropsies tonight. And he would have certainly been out. Don't know if they're going to call that an error or not.
So Escobar is erased. Give him an RBI. If they don't, in fact, rule that an error, as that one is low. You cannot assume, I guess, a double play in any situation, but that throw had him beat.
I guess that's why there won't be an error.
Fouled that one off at home plate.
But that's not the traditional double play.
You're right. Well, if that's the case,
I don't think that rule.
With regard to official scoring.
Yeah.
Well, if that's the case, that errorless streak is in jeopardy. If that is the case at 218 games. I'll tell you, he's had a tough night, though, tonight. A couple of pass balls in the first inning. Right back through the box. Johnson. And in time for the second out. Runner moves up to third, and Kataris. Milwaukee leads it 7-2. They have 9 hits. Valdez, a tough night. There's something there, though. This isn't a hoped that he might do good things in the big leagues. There's something there with regard to his stuff.
Yeah, his stuff is gonna get some swings and misses. It's gonna get some ground balls.
Ricky Weeks.
But tonight the ground balls just found holes. He didn't get slugged around per se. He gave up one home run. But for the most part, he stayed off the barrel of the bats of these Brewers, but at the end of the day, it's going to look like he really got cuffed around.
Weeks right through that one. Yeah, he'll throw some ground balls. We got an email from a fan on FoxSportsArizona.com. And it was Joanne from Jupiter, Florida. Joanne, thanks for watching in Florida. She wants a Brandon Webb update, speaking of ground balls.
What we got?
Well, as far as we know, he has still been throwing off mounds, off the bullpen hill. As that one is off the end of the bat. At Texas Eagle for the Brewers. They lead it 8-2. I'll finish the thought in a moment. Weeks with his third hit of the night. That you can give an RBI. So now Jim Edmonds high fives all around. It was 3 weeks ago in San Diego that Webb gave us 6 weeks as his timetable, or early June for his return. We have not heard anything different since.
How far into it are we of those
3 weeks left?
So he's got 3 weeks left.
3 weeks left. Those were his words in our conversation, so we'll keep an eye on it. But things have got to happen quickly now.
No, I got to be honest, I can't see that happening.
A.J. Hinch was asked about it. A lot of folks don't travel with the team. A lot of members of the media come out on a Saturday night to cover the Diamondbacks, and he got a little bit frustrated. I think the best way to deal with that is get him back out on the mound in a regular season game, and they won't ask you about it anymore. That's just common sense.
True.
But it's taken an awful long time. And so we watch and hope for Chris Benson to maybe help out. We watch and hope for Cesar Valdez to develop in the major leagues.
Well, and also, Darren, you have to understand in this business, too, when you're talking about a talent of Brandon Webb, when healthy, might be the best pitcher in the game, when healthy.
One or two in the Cy Young race every year.
So you're going to get asked about that kind of a talent.
The 2-1.
I mean, that's like Tony La Russa getting frustrated if Albert Pujols goes on the DL for a while and people want to know how he's doing.
And that's yesterday.
That's not really thrown from the mound.
Not all the way up, you're right. Not all the way up to the back of the mound. 3-2 the count to Edmonds. Runner will go from first. Joanne, thank you for the note. We wish we had even more to share with you. But we'll do our best to stay on top of it. Runner goes. It's low, ball 4. And this is after the conversation. And talking with Ken Crenshaw, head athletic trainer.
Bobby!
He's smiling there and signing autographs. We'll all be smiling when we see him back on the mound in a regular season game.
Well, anytime the session ends with some smiles, that's good news.
Pitches outside, 1-0.
We're still struggling to throw strikes.
Come on now. A lot of Brewers fans. You know, they drew 3 million fans last year, Gracie. They're everywhere.
That's true.
So,
they're traveling well.
Yeah, they're traveling very well.
Fans.
First of all, a great crowd tonight overall. And some blue down there. Uh-oh. Deep center field. Ryan Braun. Did he hit it off his face? Almost. Way out of here. Ryan Braun will touch them all. Those that did travel well, those that cheer for the new version of Harvey's Wallbanger, stand and cheer. Milwaukee leads it 11-2 over the Diamondbacks. It's officially a pasting tonight. How'd that sound, by the way?
I never heard that sound off my bat. My goodness, what a player. What a hitter. And what a year he's having. That's where the ball hit a dent just below the scoreboard. Golly.
Breaking ball is dropped in there. So with regard to our text poll, we want to jump across the aisle. Go ahead and support Braun and Fielder.
Yep.
Across the aisle we go.
That's okay. Not a problem. We like them now.
The 0-1 up and in. So when you're texting to 36929, support Braun and Fielder. Big Adam Dunn, you're out.
Anytime you go scoreboard, we're on your team now.
We are the biggest group of front runners in the game. The 1-1. That's low and inside. Oh, talking about those righty-lefty duos, best in the 90s. How about those two? Jay Buhner, who now joins us as our statistician.
Good to have Jay with us now.
That's Kurt Zacher in there doing the research. Good man. Over the outside corner. Fielder goes down on strikes, but Ryan Braun put a dent in our property here at Chase Field. So, vote for him. Darren and Mark and you, glad to have you back at the ballpark with us. All Milwaukee Brewers tonight as they are routing the Diamondbacks 11-2. Augie Ojeda, a seldom used utility infielder this year for Arizona, goes to work and hits for Blaine Boyer. Just one hit in 10 at-bats this year. Battled a variety of ailments and injuries. And the breaking ball is hit on the ground, and a base hit for Augie. So Ojeda reaches. Finally, a seeing eye single for the home team.
The effort by McGee just can't come up with it. That'll go as a base hit. I think it'll go as a base hit. Been tough scoring tonight.
Want to remind everyone about our partnership with Fulton Homes and the home runs as well. Every time a D-back hits a home run this season, Fulton Homes donates $150 to the Central Arizona Mountain Rescue Association. Oh, and 1 to count to Kelly. Johnson doubled and scored back in the first inning. Had a little chopper out in front of the plate that he thought, I think, was going to bounce foul. So the catcher made the play and just tagged him out.
A couple of good breaking balls on the outside corner. Fall behind 0-2. Randy Wolf has just settled right in after spitting a bit of a hook in the first inning.
The Diamondbacks threatened. It was a leadoff double by Johnson. Connor Jackson singled him home. Upton then doubled. LaRoche popped out. Reynolds with a single and an RBI. Young with a walk and then a double play. Ended the inning. They only scored 2 runs. Outside. And you even said it. As much as it's a good start for the Diamondbacks, you had hoped anyway you might get a few more. Pushing back on the ropes in that first inning.
I think the Diamondbacks are very disappointed in that they only got 2 in the first inning.
Johnson waves over the top of an all-speed pitch, and he goes down on strikes. Early rally caps. Why not? Everything they can to get things going. Here's Connor Jackson. Connor singled in a run back in the first inning, line to second base. A low breaking ball, but a strike. That's that slow curve ball from Wolf. Tomorrow, Chris Narveson duels Ian Kennedy as the series continues. He's Connor with a shot down the line.
Voting now for the 2010 All-Star Game in Anaheim has begun. Send your D-backs to the All-Star Game. Vote early, vote often. Vote now at dbacks.com. Got to have them all there.
I love that. So log on and just click, click, click. Click, vote, vote, vote.
That's what you do.
The screen.
We need some D-backs there.
What about Kelly Johnson?
Yeah. Maybe Mark Reynolds. He got robbed last year.
He did.
I'm still upset about that. You can vote right there.
Now, well, love voting online, but sometimes us older folks love to have the old punch cards, the old ballots.
Come out to the ballpark. Vote. Another reason to come on and watch your D-backs. Come on, Darren.
The 0-2. On the ground. Escobar. Weeks. Oh, that'll do it.
Well, let's go to a break. 11-2 Brewers. Where'd you go, partner? Where'd you go?
at Chase Field. 11-2 the score. The big inning in the third. Now, there have been blasts tonight, but in that third inning, the Brewers just kept finding holes. Now you have to give them credit because they're the ones that pulled it out. Weeks did it. Fielder did it. McGee did it. Garrett did it. There was a bases-loaded walk. Kataris did it. Wolf did it. And so on it went. For the Milwaukee Brewers in that inning, 4 runs across the plate. They took the lead at that point by a score of 5-2 if you're just joining us. Bob Howry goes to work, the veteran right-hander. And long balls certainly have been the story for Howry. McGee takes a pitch outside. Look at that. They got the rally lids on. They're having a blast. We love that. Forward to seeing your youngsters out at the ballpark. 2-0 the count. Beautiful night for baseball. This is how we were bragging on Houston. We feel the same way now. Gorgeous evenings at the ballpark.
We're going to keep that roof open as long as we possibly can.
Howry has that one fouled off and off to the right side. That's what we're talking about. Get the cool breezes of the Arizona evening coming on into the ballpark. It won't be that way for much longer. We know all about it here. What a great night for baseball tonight. Pitch is up and in. A 24-year-old Bob Howry broke in with the Chicago White Sox in 1998. Worked some out of the bullpen. As a matter of fact, at 25, he had 28 saves. He was just a kid like those guys back then. Still doing it at 35 years old. Didn't get the corner. McGee feels like he's living right tonight, doesn't he? That was a great shot right there. Our Amica Insurance hit zone against the Diamondbacks for Jody Garrett.
Oh, man. You're not going to get any argument from me there. This guy, it doesn't matter who you are. If you're wearing the black jersey or the Sedona red jersey or the Sonoran Sand jersey, he's going to hammer you. And that is Jody Garrett.
Garrett, of course, you talk about how hot he is. If he hits a double here, will hit for the cycle. Chad Moeller last did it in 2004. Had a chance to watch it. That was kind of, as you filled out your scorebook that day, one of the last guys you would expect would hit for the cycle that day, but he did.
Not often you see catchers. Moeller and Charlie Moore, catchers, going cycle.
That pitch is in from Howry. How good has it been tonight? Garrett, in his first 30 at-bats this season, had 4 hits. He's 3 for 3 tonight.
I mean, loud hits.
Oh, he doesn't fall into that seeing eyeball club tonight. The 2-1. Pops that one up into the upper deck. Bounces around up there for a souvenir. It's an interesting looking bat we saw there a moment ago. Almost like it has a double label if we can catch it again. 2-2 the count. Pops that one up. Connor Jackson is there. We will look for his next at bat.
He made an out.
And somehow he is retired. He says, I've had no problem doing that, but rarely when I play these Diamondbacks do I make outs. George Koutaris tonight walked with the bases loaded, walked and scored, and also struck out. Play him to pull in the infield. Outfield is straight, and Koutaris, born in Scarborough, Ontario in Canada, takes strike one. Milliken High School in Markham, Ontario. The Greek Canadian pops that one up. Long run for Young, and he is there to make the play for the out. Matter of fact, Koutaris, when he went out for the baseball team in high school at Milliken High School in Canada, there was none.
Really?
Fast pitch softball for the boys or the men, whichever you want to say. So
they call it, in Canada, they call that fastball.
That's exactly right. So he learned to play from scratch. And started playing a little bit of baseball at 15 years old. But again, the high school didn't have a team. That one is fouled back by Escobar. Oh, 0-1 the count. Dad giving Mom an early Mother's Day present up there with the little boy. Mom may be getting to relax tonight. But I think everybody wins in that situation. Dad and son get to go to the ball game. Mom gets to relax. I think that's a win across the board.
That's the surefire sign. Rubbing the eyes means it's almost time to go night-nights. Rubbing the eyes, rubbing the nose. Dad? Dad? Time to go. Dad? Oh, don't bother me, Con.
The 1-1. 1-2 the count. He was ready to hit the rack, wasn't he? The young shortstop down in the count, 1-2.
Didn't get the call there.
Slider just missed away. Pretty good pitch. 11 runs, 11 hits, and 1 error for the Brewers. 2 runs on 5 hits and 1 error. Greg's on. He'll get his chance tomorrow, I would imagine. Koutaris, who we were speaking of, gets the start. Throw him another slider. And on 2-2. 3-2 the count. Youngsters all over the yard love these 5 o'clock starts on a Saturday night.
I love them too.
Starting to see a little bit more teams will visit around baseball. Going out with the youngsters, you can make sure they don't hit the wall too early. Going out with a whole group of big people, you can go out to dinner after the game. That's ball 4.
Not a whole lot of crispness to the D-backs tonight.
No.
Pitcher Randy Wolf.
That's 6 walks now. 2 outs here in the 6th inning.
Well,
Diamondback pitching.
They have appeared, and it's appearance, but they have appeared flat in these first 2 games back at home after the 11-day trip. You thought yesterday you almost understood it. Bleary-eyed. Milwaukee didn't play a very solid game yesterday either. Milwaukee's played a solid game tonight.
Yeah, they've gotten good starting pitching both nights. Great bullpen last night. Bottom line is, well, the team in blue and gray has outplayed the Diamondbacks.
dumps that one into center field. That is Randy Wolf with the RBI. So the pitcher Wolf is on for the second time, and another run crosses the plate. Milwaukee 12, Arizona 2.
Another ball off the end of the bat. You can say bad luck. Yeah, it was a little Texas leaguer again, but if you don't walk 2 batters this inning, that guy doesn't come to the plate.
So now Ricky Weeks. All right. Here we go.
Where are we going, Darren? Take me with you wherever you're going. I'm ready. Please.
Come on, boys.
Please take me with you.
Pitches outside, 1-0 the count. I'm going to take you to the land of blue skies.
Good.
Smiles. Where all the baseballs find green grass. And all the ground balls hit by opposing hitters are in the leather. The 1-0. 1-1 the count. I may take you to Curacao so we can visit.
Really?
Tech Sergeant John Compton and just shake his hand and thank him for his service.
Sure.
Don't forget to email the booth as well. Drop us an email.
Please.
1-1. Line shot there to make the play is Augie Ojeda. Milwaukee 12, Arizona 2 on a Saturday night at Chase Field. Hey, don't forget, by the way, every month Fox Sports Arizona focuses on an organization that is helping the community this month. We recognize Building Safer Communities, where Silent Witness and Valley Police Agencies team up to help us find safer streets. See how you can help. Check out www.buildingsafercommunities.com. Now they're wrapping up the T-shirt toss here at the ballpark. And Justin Upton will lead things off.
Fans always get excited for the T-shirt toss.
Oh, they love a good T-shirt. Everything settles down now. Let's see if Justin can wake him right back up. Upton doubled. Grounded out to second. And he takes a strike. 0-1 the count. Wolf again threw 28 pitches in the first inning. Since then has thrown 13.5 pitches per inning. So he has reeled it together very nicely. He gave up 2 runs and 4 hits in the first inning. He has given up no runs and 1 hit since. So it has been good stuff. First 3 batters were 3 for 3 since. 1 for 16 for the Diamondbacks. So this is When you look up in the dictionary under the phrase settling in, looking for a definition, this is it. He's done.
He was let off the hook in the first inning, and that you could just see that took a huge load off his back, and it just breathed life into the Brewers as well. And he has not looked back. He has just dominated since those first 3 batters.
Remember, I asked you earlier if he would elevate on occasion. There's an example of it. Good pitch. If they'll swing at it, it's a very good pitch. And Upton does just that. Here's Adam LaRoche. Got to remind you, Gracie, if the Diamondbacks can put 6 runs on the board, they'll be halfway to where they need to be, and that's a tie. But also, Taco Bell gives away 3 free tacos with the purchase of a large drink between 4 and 6 the following day. One time a Texas leaguer, just one time. LaRoche is retired. He is 0 for 3. You know, at some point we might have to take a look around the rest of baseball.
I think that's a really good idea. I've been waiting for you. I'd love to know what's going on around the league.
Well, with a tough night tonight, I'm not going to poke a stick at Houston anymore. Not with what we've seen the Diamondbacks struggle offensively.
Good point. That was John Garland doing that to the Houston Astros tonight. I know that always makes you happy.
Well, anyway, it's a very tough night for the Cubs. I know that'll upset you.
I think they got clobbered tonight, didn't they?
The Cincinnati Reds with 14 runs tonight. And by the way, Tech Sergeant Compton still watching, he says, after all these runs.
And thank you.
Thank you very, very much.
Keep watching, Staff Sergeant. Where do you see this comeback?
Tom Gorzolani pitched, but then the bullpen blew up in that game. Justin Berg went 1 inning, gave up 6 runs for the Chicago Cubs.
Ouch.
Double D not pitching here in town. Dave Bush not pitching here in town. As that one misses in.
Been a while since we've seen Reynolds hit it there. How long's it been? Chicago? That 2-home run game he had? I think that was it, wasn't it?
You know what? That sounds about right, but let's put our crack staff on the research. That one is it. Listening in to the governor.
Candyman as well, yeah.
Sports 620 KTAR.
Jeff Munn's also over there somewhere.
Jeff called the game last night, did a good job. Look out, Mark Reynolds has to hop out of the way.
Oh, man. Even though the result might be, well, not so good on the field, well, the result's always good when you got some cotton candy.
Well, you asked for it, Gracie, and you've got it. Mark Reynolds out of here. Number 10 for Mark, 12-3 the score.
I guess all you got to do is ask. Fastball down the middle. He tried to come in. Mark Reynolds just blistered it. Yeah. So 12-3. Halfway to tacos there, Darren Sutton.
We're almost there with that homer. Fulton Holmes donates $150 to the Central Arizona Mountain Rescue Association. And Mark Reynolds with that sharp haircut, getting it tightened up before the game. Goes to hit.
How'd the rest of the West do today?
Well, the rest of the West, well, the Rockies are just starting. I mean, just getting going at Dodger Stadium. And they already lead 6-0 over the Dodgers in the first inning.
The Dodgers gave up 6 in the first?
They certainly did.
Man, that always makes me happy. Ball 4, Chris Young. How about the Gigantes? How did the Giants do today?
Well, the Giants were in your favorite city, the Big Apple in New York. And it's funny you would ask. They had a tough one. They came up short 5-4 at the hands of the New York Mets.
I believe Henry Blanco hit a walk-off home run in that game, if I'm not mistaken.
You are correct, sir.
Yeah, this isn't guesswork over here, pal.
Right down the middle to Tony Abreu. Kerry Wood made his 2010 debut for the Indians.
How'd he do?
Well, he got knocked around. It was a tough day, as the breaking ball was a ground ball. McGee fires it on over to Weeks. Mark Reynolds with his 10th home run of the year to go along with 27 RBIs. Still not nearly enough tonight, though. It's all Milwaukee. High score of 12-3. Chaz Roberts air conditioning, cool play. The world famous Clements Racing sausages.
What happened there?
Yeah, took a spill in bratwurst.
Skinned his nose.
Chorizo there in the picture, the bratwurst as well. And the folks at Clements Sausages do a great job with that race. Daniel Stang gets an opportunity. Gillespie is now in center field. And Milwaukee has officially tapped the keg tonight. And the folks back in the Midwest, I would imagine, enjoying this one. Edmonds hits it a mile high. It's going to travel into the corner. That one is foul. Wow, look how far that ball went. It's classic Edmonds.
He can hit the ball a long, long ways to left field. High fastball, lets it travel, a lot like Andrew Jones. Jackson gave it all he's got, but that was about 10 feet foul.
Accurate description, and your role as analyst outside of the Andrew Jones, but 0-1 the count.
Now you do the best you can in these 12-3 ball games, Darren.
Stang runs that one up and in. A slider, though. And 8 relief appearances for AAA Reno. Stang had an ERA of 2.89. This is what he has done in just a couple of trips to the mound in the big leagues. And a chance to be with the big club in spring. Fastball slider, that's what we're looking at.
That's all he needs.
Pretty good little downward tilt on the ball. Enough movement. And they talk a lot about his makeup. They like this young man as a man and the presence he has on the hill. Good opportunity to get some reps in. Good looking slider. He did not go around. Staying out of UC Riverside in Southern California. As Edmonds fouls that one off. Edmonds made one of the best defensive plays in the last decade.
In Kansas City?
The decade of the 90s. In that old Angels uniform with his back to home plate. Snyder has that one take his mask off.
Bang.
2-2 the countage in.
Got him with the fastball. Gas at 96.
Left fielder Ryan Braun.
Ryan Braun, Jack in the Box, inviting you to think outside of the box. He hit it off the scoreboard. That's the kind of long ball that he hit.
That one went like really, really far.
It went really, really far. You're exactly right. The breaking ball, it's a strike. By the way, the home run for Mark Reynolds, as we showed you the home run for Ryan Braun a moment ago. Mark now has 99 career home runs, tying him with Matt Williams, third in franchise history.
Not good for Mark Reynolds.
So the next one, number 100.
Big Marine doesn't look too happy tonight, does he?
Now, you know him a lot better than any of us. Were these nights that he enjoyed as a player?
No. You did the best you could to stay out of his way on nights like tonight, because you would eat a fist otherwise.
He kind of had his own spot on the bench, didn't he? Kind of down on the far end. Matt Williams we're talking about.
He did, where he would have some outbursts when things weren't going very well. Just kind of left him alone. Let him do his thing.
Everyone left him alone?
Sounded like somebody was giving something a rock-solid beating in the dugout there. It was right over there where Matt used to hang. Right over in the far corner.
And everyone left him alone.
Everybody but me.
That's what I thought you'd say.
I used to go mess with him.
Risky business.
It was.
Staying ball 4, pitching very carefully to Ryan Braun. Well, let's take a look back at our text poll, and we're sure that you've jumped the aisle with us.
We can only hope.
Whoa.
Wait a minute. No, we said we wanted you to go Braun and Fielder now, folks.
Just disregard what we said earlier. We can't get enough of Big Adam Dunn, but when you hit the scoreboard, we automatically back you. The best left-right slugging duos. Fielder attacks. Pops it into that sky in the evening, and there to make the play is Abreu. So 2 outs.
Third baseman Casey McGee.
And here's Casey McGee. When Stang arrived to the big leagues, his pitching coach told him, Mel Stottlemyre Jr., who was, by the way, his first ever pitching coach in professional baseball, probably give you a soft landing, look for a situation where the team's up or down by a little bit or a lot. Big comfortable lead or deficit will get you in there. Well, his manager, who had just watched the bullpen struggle and blow up a bunch, said, welcome to the big leagues. You might be closing this afternoon.
You may just be closing. No soft landing. And when he got the news from Brett Butler, his AAA manager, they pulled the curtain backs and there were balloons everywhere. And
no, that's not what happened. The 1-1. That one is a shot down the line. That one will roll into the corner. Braun hustling on around. Another walk scores. And out front, that walk does score, but all eyes now as they add on Jody Garrett. as Garrett, our APS Energy All-Star, and he is a double away from hitting for the cycle. This is what he has done tonight.
Homer, single, triple.
Stang goes to work. Garrett first pitch swinging, pops it up. Reynolds will dive into the seats if there's room, but it's way back there. So 0-1 the count. Just a couple of years ago, Stephen Drew hit for the cycle. That's Diamondback to do it. That's a slider. Underneath that one, pushed it. 1-1 the count to Garrett. A little chopper, that won't do it. Stang is there. He makes the play and end the inning for the Diamondbacks. That's the good news. Garrett might not get another shot. He has had a fabulous night. All Milwaukee this season.
Commanding 10-run lead. Brad Steinke, Joe Borowski getting set for Quest D-backs live, and Cesar Valdez, not the start he wanted, but needed some more run support early on.
Yeah, momentum plays a big role in baseball. Brad and I look back at what happened in the first inning that may have tipped the scales to the Brewers' favor.
Guys, we'll send it back to you.
There's no doubt that scale slammed to the ground, and look forward to hearing some of the analysis on what you saw, Joe, early on in the ball game. In the post-game show, Daniel Stang did allow a run. As we move along, glad to have you with us tonight. They were just standing up and stretching them out there. So going to the bullpen, the Milwaukee Brewers. Manny Hara, a one-time, very, very highly touted starting pitcher. Really had a tough year last year. And truth be told, when it was the Milwaukee Brewers calling for Doug Davis when they thought they might be in the race, this was the guy the Diamondbacks kept asking for, and the Brewers said, well, we want Doug, but we'll just sign him as a free agent.
I like this guy.
There's
I like
a lot
him
to
a
like.
lot. I think this guy can flat out pitch. He's got good stuff. He had a flare up a couple of years ago with Prince Fielder in the dugout. Never really been the same. But he'd look good in the Diamondback uniform.
And of course, per usual, when that man is announced, all these Diamondbacks fans remember him. Craig Counsell with a big applause. What a year he's having when he's called upon. All he does is hit this season. Chris Snyder, left field. Ryan Braun is there to make the play. going on over there, Grace?
Well, Saturday, May 22nd, I'm glad you asked, Aaron. It's Chase Field game you don't want to miss.
Sure you are.
It's 70s night, first and foremost. And the first 15,000 fans are going to get the ultimate collectible, the D-backs Garden Gnome. That's right, Gnome. Grab your lava lamp and bell bottoms and get some tickets. I mean it. Call 602-462-4794 and check out the Gnome at dbacks.com/gnome. That's like Gnome, like GNOME.
It's a tired read. 1-1 the count as that one is high and away.
Now, why do you put those guys in your garden?
Well, they're like small scarecrows, they say.
Scares the rabbits, though, right? Not the crows.
Any kind of varmints that you have running around. If you're getting out, like that gentleman might be out protecting the back 40 in his crops. He could put like 100 gnomes and set them all around his land.
That's true. He could. He'd have the healthiest garden in the world, wouldn't he?
Augie, a bouncing ball. And Escobar in time for the out here in the 7th inning.
So you're not a big fan of this left-hander, huh, Parra?
I'm sorry, when did I say that?
I'm a big fan of this guy. This guy can pitch.
That was the one time when, behind the scenes, when the Cheesers were calling and asking for Doug Davis, I kept hoping and hoping if they were to move Doug Davis, it'd be for Manny Parra. But Milwaukee thinking, no, we're not.
Well, he's kind of rotting away in their bullpen.
They won't hand him away, though, Gracie. I'm telling you. You can't pull a fast one on him.
I like this guy.
That one is low. 1-0 the count, but
have I told you I like Manny Parra?
You have on a couple of occasions. I know at some point you will again.
I might just call Doug Melvin myself and see what we can do.
The 1-0. Bounces in there to Gillespie. This against the man he played Double-A baseball with, Giovanni Gallardo. They were teammates together in Double-A. That's his first big league home run. His old club, the Brewers, gave it up. Chopper out toward third. Craig Counsell is there. Craig retires Gillespie. A fine play by the aging veteran. Still spry out there amongst all the gnomes. It's off in the top of the 8th inning. Daniel Stang still out there working. We talked about Kataris being a Greek Canadian, had the opportunity to represent Greece in the 04 Olympics. and something certainly, can you imagine, that he will never forget. Swings through that one. And the 0-4 games in Athens, he was 3 for 12 in those games. Slaps that one out to third. It's gobbled up by Mark Reynolds. I know a lot of times when we're traveling around the country, fans ask us, what is Kachinko?
Well,
Find out, and you can learn how to play right here at Chase Field by going to the interactive kiosk near Section 111 during Diamondbacks regular season home games. Brought to you by our good friends with Gila River Casinos. So we did our best to answer that question. And we trust it's satisfactory, and we look forward to you playing. Staying with a high strike. Chopper out to his counterpart Abreu. Waited back on that Sunday hop, and he makes the play in time for the out. By the way, that Sunday hop, speaking of Sunday, all you guys out there, you husbands, you sons, you little ones. Here's Craig. Welcome back like a forgotten son. Gone but not forgotten, more of a prodigal son. Back home where he was born and raised in Wisconsin. He's had a couple of journeys back and forth between these two franchises. But guys, don't forget to call Mom tomorrow. Give her a call. Say thanks. Call your wife. Call Mom. The mother of your children. Say hello and say thanks. Tomorrow's Mother's Day.
Wow. Gonzo. Out there. The pipe checkers.
2-1 the count. Signing
Oh,
tank
no.
tops.
Oh, no. That's making me a little uncomfortable.
Pitches outside to counts. 3-1.
Tell you what, though, that's one thing. Luis Gonzalez might be the best I've ever seen as far as autographs, whatnot. Just amazing. Always has time, never says no. Never seen Luis Gonzalez say no to anybody. Men, women, children, doesn't matter. Aliens. Animals.
Really?
Autographs for all, yeah.
He's backing you up right there as we watch him sign autographs for fans that have gathered round. The 3-2. Craig with a ground ball out to second, and the play is made by Augie Ojeda. The autograph signing goes on. 13-3 the score. booth, but representing the game worldwide. The voice of the Milwaukee Brewers all these years on radio, though he is a major Hollywood movie star. Bob Uecker, recovering from heart surgery, will miss at least the next couple of weeks, probably up to about 6 weeks. And he is missed. Lives out here in the Valley. We run into him all winter long, and of course makes his summertime home in Wisconsin as the radio voice of the Brewers. Get well, Bob. All those folks miss you. We miss you.
We miss you. Harry Doyle.
And in my 5 years there, as Corey Hart gets a chance to play a little bit out there in right field. In my 5 years there, I'll tell you, we traveled. And it's not the Brewers of today when I was there, but there was Jeff Jenkins and Richie Sexton. There was a club that was around 500. But when we got off buses, when we got off planes, the most popular Milwaukee Brewer was none of those players. It was Bob Uecker.
There's no question. I went through the same thing with Harry Carey in Chicago.
Very similar.
I remember one time, Andre Dawson, Ryan Sandberg, and myself were doing a little photo shoot out in front of the Cubs dugout during batting practice, for whatever it was. And all of a sudden, and there was a lot of people, autographs, Rhino, Mark, Andre, Rhino, Mark, Andre, please, please. All of a sudden, Harry Carey peeked his head out of the dugout. Somebody said, "Hey, there's Harry Carey." Next thing you know, those hundreds of people all went over to Harry Carey. There was not one soul that wanted the three of ours autograph anymore. 2 Hall of Famers, me, all went to Harry Carey, and we looked at each other. Now we know where we are on the totem pole. Not one soul wanted our autographs anymore, and it was great.
And as spectacular as Ryan Braun is, speaking of autographs, and as spectacular as Prince Fielder is, it's still the same. It's just like you experienced with Bob Uecker.
And I'm sure Ryan Braun, Prince Fielder, and some of the other players, I think they understand that, and they're probably okay with it.
Now, they're the first to miss him, to speak to the media about him. Bob down there, he works out. He's still, for a guy in his 70s, takes great care of himself. Will swim
Big
down
swimmer,
there.
isn't he?
Big swimmer. As that one is a little bit low and inside. 3-2 the count. We saw some of those great signs, by the way. Don't forget to hop on to FoxSportsArizona.com. We want to see photos of your best signs. What's your sign? Follow the instructions. It's very simple. The 3-2. That's a left-handed arm for these Milwaukee Brewers that still is trying to find it, but an arm that gets 93, 94 miles an hour in par. Guys like that, lefties that have that kind of velocity, don't grow on trees.
No, not at all. I like this guy.
The 3-2. 95 miles an hour, and that's strike 3.
He just kind of rotting away in that bullpen of the Brewers.
Here's Adam LaRoche.
First baseman, Adam LaRoche.
Yeah. Take this guy off your hands.
He may be in the back of the store, but he's still, if you wanted him, you'd have to pay Neiman Marcus prices. They will not be giving him away. He has not made his way to the rack yet, the discount shop.
He hadn't. Yeah, I was going to say, if you're just going to stick this guy way back in the back of your bullpen, yeah, we'll take this stiff off your hands.
The 1-1.
Oh, stop it. He's becoming my favorite pitcher.
He worked in Los Angeles. That was 4 days ago. 1 inning, gave up 3 runs. Worked in San Diego, a third of an inning, gave up 3 more runs. The 1-2.
I can't understand why you don't like this guy. This guy can pitch, man. I mean, this guy can pitch. Manny Parra. Oh, you'd love it here.
Yeah, I like him a lot, my friend. That won't burn up your wallet. And by your Valley Hyundai dealers. It's time for the 7th inning stretch. Your dollar. Hyundai, now the most fuel-efficient car maker in America. ValleyHyundaiDealers.com. Taking a peek in here at Chase Field. Glad to have you with us this evening. Chad Qualls goes to work. Closing for these Diamondbacks. Certainly just a chance to get some work in for Chad. Against these Milwaukee Brewers, it will be Ricky Weeks. You can see the tough time he has had. Right-handed hitters, and that's rare. Right-handed hitters have had their way with Chad. Sinker, and it's strike one. Hard ground ball right through the legs of Abreu, and it will roll so much so that Connor has to leave his feet. And so Ricky Weeks reaches.
Wow. Hard hit ball right through the wickets of Abreu, and, well, Connor had a little trouble with it out in left field as well. I guess that goes as an error.
That is exactly how they score it. Qualls, 2 outings in the month of May. He has been unscored upon as that sinker drops in there for a strike to Jim Edmonds. Matter of fact, Chad on April 21st gave up 3 runs and had his ERA reach 10.80. And since then, starting to piece things back together quietly. And his ERA in his last 5 appearances just a tick over 2. 1-1 the count to Edmonds. Pitch is low, and the count 2-1. And it's Claudio Vargas warming out there, former Diamondback. looking to open up and pull that ball. And so he fouls it off. Edmonds, you think about when he broke in with some of the veterans, kind of bridging the gap to a generation behind with those Angels. Broke in 1993 to Jim Edmonds with the Angels. Born and raised in California, 7th round pick. Had to hop out of there and hop out of the way. Chili Davis was on that club when Edmonds broke in. Gary Gaetti, a teammate of his. Kelly Gruber there with him. 3-2. Got him with the fastball. So Edmonds goes down on strikes. So as the Brewers win, as long as they hold on tonight with a big lead back-to-back games, we're looking at what they're talking about in the Central Division. They play at 5 games back. St. Louis, the prohibitive favorite, but I'll tell you what, Cincinnati playing like they're not going to go away.
And Milwaukee is a better team than that record. They just are. Houston might not win another game this year.
Here's Ryan Braun. Oswalt to pitch a shutout and drive in a run.
What we got here?
Now he wants you to buy him a frosty one.
Well, it's after the 7th inning. I can't help him.
Got to
get after the game somewhere.
Got to get that sign out. Got to get it out earlier. Braun down the line. And it's fouled off. Now, in the National League West, what are these Diamondbacks playing for, and what are they up against, you might ask? San Diego with another win on the road tonight in Houston, 19-11. San Francisco with the pitching that they've been trotting out there late and certainly scoring enough. Everyone questioned their offense. And then Colorado and Arizona and LA kind of bunched together. The 0-2. Ryan Braun gives it a charge. High off that wall. Braun with a double. Braun with an RBI. What a night he has had. He's been on 4 times.
Well, that's about as poor of an 0-2 pitch as you'll see Chad Qualls throw. Oh, my goodness. Just a spinning slider, 0-2. Guys like Ryan Braun, well, they just feast. Golly, can that guy hit? You make a mistake like that to him. Yeah, Chad Qualls can thank his lucky stars that that's a really high wall out there.
Corey Hart has fallen out of favor with regard to playing time. Of late anyway for Milwaukee. But the numbers aren't woeful. It's not like we're showing you a guy hitting 113 with a 250 on base. I would imagine it's got to change soon. He's got to get back out there. Too good of a ball player.
Too good a player. Too talented. I mean, he's good offensively and defensively, Darren. Very good outfielder with a good arm. Great speed. You know, for a tall, long guy. I mean, he's got great speed. A good stolen base guy.
Oh, and 2 the count. Does not offer it that one. It was about last year when Alcides Escobar was coming on through, and they were trying to find more playing time for him. And J.J. Hardy didn't see the field again.
Done.
He now plays in Minnesota. The 1-2. Hanging around. And you also know that Hart will never surrender.
I had a feeling you'll go there. Had a feeling you'd go there with Corey Hart.
There on Lake Michigan.
Big fan of sailing.
Right down there by the
Nice sail.
by the Art Museum downtown Milwaukee.
Dr. Marvin. I'm sailing.
The 1-2. A little topper, and it's a foul ball. Hart out front. Always found it interesting, even when I covered him there. The big guy with the number 1 on his back.
You like that or don't like it?
No, I actually
Kinda
don't at
indifferent.
all.
Why's that? You think a little guy should have number 1?
I do,
I kind of agree with you.
but he's always had it, and he likes it.
He ought to have like 17. You know, like an oak tree. You know, like number 17, don't you think?
I think so. The 1-2. He takes that one. Skitters on by, but not far enough. Now the Brewer fans that have hung around, and they have every reason to, start to make some noise. Diamondbacks fans
Sure.
chanting back at him.
Let's get a 7 on here. There you go. Number 17, Corey Hart. Yeah, that's big league right there. That a boy. Just watch the success from here on out.
Or 27 in AAA.
Yep.
Waves over the sinker.
Nah, he's not allowed to wear 17 anymore.
So what's going on in the National League East? Because that's where the Diamondbacks head on the next trip. New York having a great year. They put together a long winning streak to jump right near the top. Washington over 500. On this next trip, it's to Atlanta for 3 games and to Florida for 2. Have you seen what Ike Davis has been doing, by the way?
Hit a couple of home runs last night.
And he's diving into dugouts, making Reynolds-like plays. Incredible stuff.
He's gonna be the toast of New York here pretty soon.
Line drive, base hit, right field. You know what that allows? That allows Jody Garrett to hit one more time. With 2 outs in the 9th inning, Inglet is called upon to pinch hit, and Jody Garrett, a double shy of the cycle, gets his opportunity.
Thanks for sticking around, folks. You never know what might happen, so let's see. History possibly going to be made here with a double. Stephen Drew looking on. He's on pins and needles.
Or the last Diamondback to do it, one or the other. So Jody Garrett. That pitch inside, 1-0 the count. We mentioned Chad Moeller, former D-backs catcher, the last to do it for the Brewers. And a couple of really good names, Molitor and Yount. Charlie Moore and Mike Hegan. The 1-0. Garrett hits a high fly ball, well struck center field. Going back is Gillespie. It's off the wall. Jody Garrett into second. The relay to the plate, not in time. Jody Garrett just hit for the cycle in Phoenix, Arizona.
Good for you, young man. Good for you. His teammates are all over him. This guy came in doing absolutely nothing.
That's the most important part of the story.
And this is his moment. Bang! Off the wall in center field. It's just a matter of will it stay in the ballpark, and once it does, congratulations, Jody Garrett. Look at these guys. They're all fired up. And I don't blame them. Good for Jody Garrett.
Garrett came into this ball game 4 for 30. 4 hits in 30 at-bats. He had absolutely owned the Diamondbacks. That didn't change. 16-3, Milwaukee leads it. Jody Garrett hits for the cycle. As that one is outside.
Prince Fielder's never done it. Ryan Braun's never done it. Jody Garrett can say he has done it. That's a rare feat.
On the eve of Mother's Day, you had your cycle on Mother's Day, correct?
I did against the San Diego Padres, I believe in 1993.
His will feel better, though, won't it?
Oh, I think so.
Because?
Well, because he was probably on the verge of possibly being released. He was doing nothing.
And his, in all likelihood, came in a victory.
Oh, good point. Yeah,
I remember you
came
shared
at a loss.
So you were internally, I would imagine, pleased and proud, but you'd have given one back for a win.
I wholeheartedly agree. Wholeheartedly agree. And two best games I had statistically in my career were both in losses, a cycle and a 5-hit game. Both came in losses.
There were 9 cycles last year. This is the first cycle this season. And the 289th in Major League Baseball history. Well ball, now he can come on down. Kataris with a double. And Garrett will have a dugout full of mates. And I'm telling you, if you're losing in this game like your situation, you don't have a big party like they're having now. Fielder just trying to rub off on him, isn't he? Chris just keeps touching him.
And the hug to England for keeping the inning alive and giving him that opportunity. And meanwhile, Chad Qualls got hit very, very hard here tonight. Every Diamondback reliever has been scored upon tonight.
More from Chase after this. Milwaukee steamrolling tonight. And Alcides Escobar, first pitch swinging against Aaron Heilman, is erased. Jody Garrett hit for the cycle tonight. 291 cycles in baseball history. 264 no-hitters. A rarity. You saw it. In the third, he hit a single. In the fifth, it was a triple into the corner. And then in the ninth inning, with Joe England in front of him, extending the inning with 2 outs, he hits for the cycle. His teammates standing and cheering, high fives in that dugout. Jody Garrett, again, we remind you, came into this series with 4 hits in 30 at-bats this season. They traded youngster Tony Gwynn Jr. away to get Garrett last year. He was having a woeful start to the season. Well,
Not anymore.
He had 4 hits in the first month of the season. He had 4 tonight.
4 tonight. The cycle. Good for Jody Garrett. That might just keep him in the lineup for a while.
Mark Reynolds. The 1-0. High fly ball right center field. And that one is put away. Let's go back to a Mother's Day of years gone by. Chicago, Illinois. Harry Carey on the microphone. Gracie in the batter's box.
There it goes. Way back. It might be. It could be. And in. A home run. And he gets a cycle. A single, a double, a triple, and a homer. Do, re, mi, fa, sol. Do.
Your good buddy, Harry Carey.
That's right. He's, boy, do we miss him. Yeah, unfortunately, you saw I wasn't too happy there. That's because we were still losing at the time.
And that's tonight's big difference. You know, in this game anyway. I mean, they were able to gather around, stand and cheer, mob him in the dugout. That doesn't go on if you're about to lose a game as much.
Man, that was in the bottom of the ninth inning that I hit that, and we were still behind by a run.
1-1 the count. You still did it, though, my friend. And it's more rare than a no-hitter. Rusty Ryle. He has been a rare find. By the way, who is that homer against?
That was off of Rich Rodriguez. Remember him? Left-hander, Rich Rodriguez?
I do.
He was with the Mets, the Padres.
2-1 the count.
Not the football coach. Left-handed pitcher.
Heard of him as well. And I said, by the way, 264 no-hitters, 291 cycles, so they're close. The no-hitter is a little bit more rare. 3-1 the count to Rusty.
I'll tell you what, Darren, I can't get enough of this kid either. Rusty Ryle. Every time he gets his name called, he just does something positive.
Here's Tony Abreu. Well, these are the 2 guys that grabbed your attention as we were thinking of things we noticed on the road trip. Coming on the air yesterday, the man at first and the man in the batter's box officially providing a little bit of depth for these Diamondbacks. 0-1 the count. There's a confidence about Ryle, too, for a guy who plays down on the depth chart that you hope is infectious for all his other mates on the bench. That one is fouled off. But he brings all of the gloves, Rusty Ryle does, out to practice. His first baseman's glove, his outfielder's glove, his infielder's glove.
I remember when we asked him, he had great numbers in the minor leagues off left-handed pitching, and that's kind of his job up here at the major league level, is to hit off lefties. And I said, man, you really hammered lefties down in the minor leagues, didn't he? He goes, oh, no, I hammered everybody. And I was like, I love that. And ever since then, I can't get enough of this kid. He's gonna help this team win a lot of games.
There is a soft-spokenness to him that goes along with being a young man with very little major league experience. But once you get to know him, that doesn't exist. He's a very confident player, but he knows his place. His father played for a long, long time. I also thought it was telling and confident how he responded to the question about his dad. He said, you know, my dad has been great, Mark Ryle, who played in the big leagues. He's been great to ask some business questions. How does this work with a contractor or when you're maybe talking about an agent? He said, but I want it to be my career. I think I need to learn some things, too. It's my career. And
that was interesting to me. No.
And it wasn't in a negative way at all that he said it as Abreu
But
goes
in
down
other words,
on strikes.
I can handle it. Yeah, your career was your career, Dad, but this is my career.
And his father, who is the softball coach now at Auburn, is fully in support of that. 17-3, kind of a football score. You're a football fan, right?
That's not going to happen because the last time, like, Milwaukee/Green Bay or Wisconsin came out here, Arizona ended up winning in overtime and moving on in the playoffs.
Oh, okay.
In one of the best football games I've ever seen in my life. Maybe next year. Maybe next year, Packer fans.
The 1-0.
Better think twice before you come back out to the desert when it counts.
Oh, now this is the kind of stuff I've been hoping for all night long.
By the way, I want one of those hats. Where can I get one of those?
I can help you out.
I really want one because that is so big league.
The 2-0. 2-1 the count. Mark Ryle, by the way, to be specific, the assistant coach for the softball team back there at Auburn. Right back to the screen. 2-2 the count on Chris Snyder. The old cheese head. Block of cheese right there on your head.
It's blue cheese.
Brewer cheese there. Or as they like to say sometimes, Brewers.
Well, what's the favorite cheese of Wisconsin? Would you say cheddar?
Yes, absolutely.
American?
But cheddar.
They don't go like French brie or anything like that?
Well, they'll make it if you'll buy it. I mean, they're into supporting the economy. They love cheese curds, though. Have you ever had those?
No, I've heard about them. I heard it's one of those you either love them or hate them. Is that correct?
Absolutely.
It's kind of a love-hate relationship with cheese curds?
I'd be closer to the negative.
Really? But I've never had one.
The 3-2 pitch. Snyder pounds that one off his foot. You know, you go down to the office, wherever you folks work. Here at our office, we have those styrofoam cups. You can make a good, fresh cup of coffee here at the break room.
Of course.
Take one of those cups and crumble it all up. Maybe just take some cheese, I don't know, some powder, just Kraft macaroni and cheese. Put a little bit of that powder from the packet on there on the styrofoam and then eat it. That's what cheese curds taste
really?
like to me.
Yuck. No, I think I'll pass.
No, really, do it. Outside. So now, it does taste better when it's warmed up and then followed by Miller products. That's one of the big things they'll remind you.
Back in Wisconsin,
Back
yes,
in
the
Wisconsin.
Miller products.
Yes.
There's lots of those. What sausage is big back there?
Very, very good. The Clement Sausage Company, they make all kinds of good stuff. Grilling. You know, I mean, you spent a lot of time in the Midwest.
Sure I did.
When it gets above 60,
you're grilling outside.
Celebration time.
Yeah. Well, Chicago, it's more like Italian beef and red hots. They call their hot dogs red hots.
Augie Ojeda hits a high fly ball. The biggest red hot tonight wore a Brewers uniform. He was red hot. Jody Garrett came in 4 for 30. He hit for the cycle this evening. You want to talk about red hot? Throw him on the grill, and he will be just perfect. Jody Garrett, what a night he had. 17-3 the score. We'll talk about Jody. We'll talk about grilling. We'll talk about cheese curds. We'll have all kinds of fun in the post-game show. Now,
well, last night the D-backs